Hello, audience. I am talking like a normal person. And before we go any further, I'll just say that this episode is brought to you by patrons like Go Comics, Qua, Jeremy Vasquez, Kylie Denton, Esther Flores, Sodasan0424, and VideoGamer75. And if you like what we do and want to see us do more, consider supporting us on Patreon. You get access to episodes early and lots of other goodies, and it will really help us out. Thanks for your support.
Thank you.
That was a very loud thank you and click. I am still a little bit soft. It's not just my imagination. Is my volume down or something?
Has Discord been playing with your set? Do I smell fucking paint?
No, Lucky. He's having a brimmer. He smells paint. No, my mic arm is probably just really low. Is that too loud sound waves? No. I just have to remember to catch some of the squiggling sounds when I edit this. Otherwise, people have to listen to...
It's raining outside, so there would be no sense coming from out there. They'd be suppressed by the fucking rain, so it has to be coming from inside the house. Fuck it off.
The paint is coming from inside the house. This is the weirdest fucking start, and I can say fucking because we're a minute in. This is the weirdest start to a What's Up in a long time.
Well, it's not a subtle sin. It's just like, hey, wait. No, it's not coming from my drink. Okay.
No, you're not drinking paint. Okay, that was way too loud. Hold on, let me just slightly farther away now.
Because, I, popped the top on this, we said some stuff, I take a deep breath and I just smell motherfucking paint and or paint thinner. So I'm like, what?
Secretly, Lucky is hallucinating because he's actually had a huff and paint habit for, 12 years.
Well, I don't know, I can't say whether or not I'm hallucinating, that's how fucking hallucination works, but, I don't know, if it's just paint, it's probably nothing I really need to concern myself about. Unlike if I smell smoke, I go investigate it, no matter how small.
Yeah, that's what I do. We got smoke detectors in every end of the house. My dad works at the Red Cross, so yes, we have a, good sound system. By the way, audience member, you're typing in general, because I'm sure you switched over to look at that guy who said something. Just so you know, you're confusing the shit out of those people. But, if I smell smoke, it's kind of like... I wanna see what's going on. Somebody's probably just cooking, but you never know. If there's a problem,
yeah,
I want to be aware of it because I want to put it out, or I want to throw my shit out my giant window into the front lawn. I don't know.
Already had one house burned down on me. I don't need a second.
No, that's fair. Okay, well, after house burning, when you want to talk about it, so we're recording What's Up a day late because you had a thing.
I had a thing. I've been
want to talk about the thing?
A lot of thing. I died. I almost died yesterday. Well, not literally. Well, no, I guess I could say a bit literally. I suffered, basically what happens is, my friends' parents have an RV park all the way up in the fucking mountains. If you were on our Discord and, or looking on my Twitter yesterday, you saw me posting a bunch of pictures, from the area. So it's a very beautiful area. It's in Washington State. It's in the LB area, right around, Crystal Lake, Mineral Lake, something like that. And it's a very beautiful place. It's just it takes an hour to fucking get there, and I always like snapping pictures when I'm up there. But the reason I was up there yesterday is, one, I had to help clean up a Connex, which is one of those big metal containers you see. Those giant metal boxes you always see on those giant freighter ships? Yeah, Connexes. And I had to help remove the roof from a building so they can lift it up and put on a second story floor and then put the roof back on. So, yeah, but the only problem is I was dumb and I literally did not sleep that previous night. Why? I don't know, don't tell me. Ask my body. And the second was I didn't hydrate myself properly. So
that's
after
the most important thing.
So basically 4 hours into working, I basically collapsed. And I had to spend another 4 hours just laying in the shade while everyone else worked.
That'll happen.
So yeah. Yeah, that'll happen. Also got a couple bruises on my hand because a fucking Zaza was really, really bad. Meg, you know what a Sawzall is?
Yes.
Okay. So
maybe the audience doesn't know.
Yeah, Sawzall is just basically it's a hand power tool where you put basically a thin serrated blade on top, and the power tool just makes it go up and down, up and down, up and down very fast. It's very good for cutting through pipe, wood, sometimes metal, nails, all that crazy stuff. It's something that's not quite as big as a skill saw, but it's bigger than a vibrosaw. I guess I gotta explain that. If you don't know what a skill saw is, just think to any construction film that you have ever, like, any construction scene, and that guy that has the hand circular saw, that's a fucking skill saw.
Right.
So,
because you need to be skilled to saw, I guess. I don't know.
Like, it's real talk, some of these fucking tool names, like, I don't get. Sometimes I wonder if it's just what my friends name for them are. I'm all like, okay.
No, I just Googled it to double check. No. That is what that is called. If you search skill saw, you get that type of circular saw.
Yeah. So, we had a really crappy, sawzall that would get trapped in the, wood. And here's the thing about power tools,
they vibrate.
Even if the blade stops, the thing's still just gonna keep going back and forth. It's just gonna be going instead of the blade moving, it's just gonna be the
move. Yeah.
power tool. So, basically what happened is, that happened several times and just beat the living shit out of my hands. So my hands are, like, really bruised right now.
Yeah, I bet. I don't really like to power tool, but I've seen some stuff and done some things and helped on some stuff, and yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah,
I assume they call it a sawzall because it's unlike a skill saw. It's basically omnidirectional. Any way you can point and hold the trigger, it'll saw.
Yeah.
So it's a saw-all. Though there's a Z in it for some reason.
Yeah. I don't know. I just kind of blur the words together. Sawzall.
Well, yeah, it's actually one word if you search for it.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's a Z in it, which I'm not sure.
Sawzall.
Apparently, the full title is reciprocating saw, but nobody's gonna fucking say that on a construction site. Hey, yo, Jimmy, give me the reciprocating saw.
Hell no, they're just gonna yell, give me the fucking sawzall.
I can't, I cut my finger off it. I don't fucking care, give me the saw.
Man, like, I don't care what anyone says. Anytime I see fast-moving spinning planes, I'm all like,
No, I'm like, table saw? with sawzall? I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to deal with this. I need my fingers.
I've had one, I don't know if I ever told this story, but I've had, like, one bad experience with power tools.
I haven't had any personal bad experiences, with sawing and cutting, but my dad has multiple times. He, whacked the end of his thumb off once and some other stuff. So I'm like, no, I will learn the lessons of my fathers, and I will not. I don't want to have to go to the emergency room and have them stitch the end of my thumb back on. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, so, I didn't have an accident with a saw, but I did have an accident with a motorized electric wire brush. So, this one time I was cleaning out this old giant ventilation system for this retirement community, and we were scraping all the paint off with electric wire brushes. So basically, it's just you get a circular wire brush. So basically, you have your metal pad in the middle, and all the wire brushes stick out from the end. So when it spins, it just goes zzz, and I was using that to scrape off. Now, the problem with this is the thing only spins in one direction. So once in a while, I would have to go against the, I would have to, use it in different ways to get it. And the wire brush would kick back, because that's what happens, because it's moving at super fast speeds. And so if you push too hard, then that means there's too much of the thing, whatever, and instead of the wire brush, brushing past it, it has to now go over it. I don't know if I can.
Yeah, that's a thing you should be like you said with the Sawzall, that it's got an electric motor. The motor doesn't stop, so the way physics works is the energy goes somewhere.
Yeah. So, I was working on it, and I got a really bad kickback. Now, me being a dumbass, when it kicked back, well, I'll explain why I was a dumbass in a second. It kicked back and hit my shirt. It then ran up my shirt and started clawing into my neck. Me being a and now here's the ingenious thing about this. The thing about this electric wire brush is it's a squeeze handle. That basically means as long as you're squeezing it, it goes. If you stop squeezing it, it stops. But because this thing had suddenly started clawing up my fucking shirt, I instinctively did a fucking panic grip.
I was about to say, the moment you said I was a dumbass, I knew exactly what you did. So you held on for dear life and tried to fight it.
Yeah. And
which the thing to do in that case is fucking let go.
Yeah. And so it started clawing into my neck. Now, I was saved because it did actually cut into my neck and there was a lot of blood, but it was kind of a superficial wound. Like it didn't actually get into the real meat. But the only thing that saved me is that while it was clawing into my shirt, it caught the shirt, and it got caught in there, and it was able to stop it. It was just one of those moments of I'm literally holding my shirt is all wound up in this thing. I am bleeding from the neck. I have this death grip on, and I just have this look of I'm gonna die. I did not die though, unless I am
obviously. Yeah. Hey, so that was our power tool story. Luckily, I've managed to avoid doing anything dumb. I don't have any real experience with saws, so nobody's like, oh, let's give Omega the saw. That's a great idea.
I work with people whose mindset is, well, if you don't do it, you won't get better. I'm all like, oh god.
No, see, because mostly I work with my parents, helping around stuff. The idea is, I want this to be done right. And so I don't want to have to do it again, so I'll just do it clean the first time. Which, I gotta be honest, on the one hand, that means, yes, I don't have a lot of experience handling saws, but it also means that less work was done, because it was done right the first time. And I can get started on my own if I ever feel a need to saw things. I've lived nearly 27 years, I've never had to really needed to saw anything on my own yet. So, yeah.
I guess that's what I get for having a big network of people who are in general contracting business. I've told people, I have a lot of experience. I've built houses, I've done HVAC, a little bit of electrical, plumbing, construction.
Yeah, I've done the gopher thing for a lot of projects, but mostly it's renovating the house, not building it. And the really complex stuff is either we did that solo or we just leave that to the professionals. It's oh shit, we need a new AC system. Let's call some AC guys. They'll do it.
Yeah, no, occasionally I'll post pics in our Discord of things I've been working on. Recently I've been doing a handrail system in pouring concrete. Oh yeah, that's another thing I've done. Concrete. That's fun.
It's fun. Heavy work though.
Yeah.
Heavy and wet. Concrete and grout suck.
Mm-hmm.
Boy howdy, I have done some grouting. I've got some shirts I can't that are permanently stained from grouting.
Yep, I've done grout too.
There's an episode of Let's Talk FGO. I don't know which one it is, but it's immediately after I helped out siding the front of the house, and you can tell how fucking dead I am because I've been out in the sun all day putting stuff on the front of the house. Hey, in case you didn't know, we are not just two scrubs making internet videos. We've lived life and done stuff. I've lifted heavy object before. I really fucking hate it. And I think I said last time we moved, no, that was the first time, and we did do it better the second time, because there was a complaint. We moved in some fish tanks, and I was like, you're taking the fucking water out of the fish tank, or I refuse. I refuse.
Yeah.
Kids, fish tanks suck. Water is heavy, and it doesn't displace, and it moves. So, water's a son of a bitch. Couches are great.
These fish can live in a fucking plastic bag for a couple hours.
Yeah, they'll live. They'll be fine. They're just fucking fish. They die from nothing, and you just buy more. It's fine. But yeah, no. Moving shit sucks. And I don't know. It's been a long time since I had movers move, so I don't know, how expensive that is. But if you can, just get movers. They get paid to do it. They probably have some kind of workers' comp insurance. And they have, belts and stuff to hold things up. I don't know. They have trucks. Big fucking trucks. But, goddamn, I hate couches. I hate anything that takes two people. Not that other people are unreliable, but just that means there's a whole fucking extra, great, now I have to, not only am I reliant on making sure I can hold up this giant couch as we go down our steep-ass driveway, because it's going downstairs, only we have a spiral staircase, so it won't fit downstairs. I told them we should have put in a dumbwaiter, but no. So that was a fun thing. Luckily, there were some nice big sliding glass doors on the lower back patio. But yeah, its slopes are great. Like I can't imagine doing the stereotypical thing of like moving an apartment into moving a couch into an apartment upstairs. That sounds like you want to die. Have you ever done that? Like moved a couch up, not even just upstairs in a house, but up a couple flights of steps in a building?
Oh no, I've got fucking worse. I had to fucking once move a fucking refrigerator up.
No, fuck. Fridges are awful too because they're so fucking heavy.
Up several floors because I used to do high end maintenance installation. So yeah, like imagine like having to move like refrigerators upstairs when they wouldn't fucking fit in a damn elevator.
God, no, I don't want to imagine that. We got a new fridge not too long ago, so I had the job of holding it at an angle so it was pulled back, but didn't open the doors and crush me while we hooked up the water line. Because this fridge does ice and water, and our last fridge didn't. So,
Lucky has the nice effect of being a bit stronger than people think. So I'm actually, if I can get it into like usually like on my arms and back, I can just usually carry things like.
Well, also you're taller. That's something I've noticed is tall people take that for granted. Leverage is great.
Yeah,
it's so important. There's a lot of times where it's like, because my dad's like 6 foot and I'm only like 5'8", so it's like. I don't have those extra couple of inches, Chief. I can't lift it up any higher.
Yeah.
This is the level where my arms stop.
So, yeah. Usually, like, I've been able to just literally pick up couches, put them on my back, and carry them. Mattresses, mini fridges. I've never been able to do it with a fucking, with a big fridge, but, like, smaller fridges, yeah, I've just, like, wrapped my arms around them, bent my knees. Carried him in. It always kills me afterwards though, but I'm all like, no, we are doing this now. I'm not spending like 20 minutes while we like try to do this fucking awkward appliance dance. It's like I'm gonna get it in, I'm gonna get it now.
Just get it fucking out of the way, get it done. Move on.
Mm-hmm.
Hurry up and wait is the worst. But alright, so that's been 20 minutes of a blue collar.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about video games?
Last thing, Lucky. We're gonna probably be talking about a lot of video games. Because as I said, we're probably gonna talk more about Fire Emblem because Omega has gotten farther finally.
I finally got to the time skip.
Yeah,
go me.
Let's see here. I want to talk about Astral Chain a bit because I did beat it, and I also want to talk about the Death Stranding trailer from Tokyo Game Show last week.
There's lots of Death Stranding things from Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah. I didn't talk about it last week because I didn't actually had watched the trailer then, which was kind of funny because I was watching the stream just for it, but the stream started actually repeating stuff I'd already done. I was like, I'll just come back to this in a little bit, and completely missed it. I was like, good job, Lucky, good job. We also got, let's see, gacha games. Anything particularly happening for you? Well, I guess I should we can talk about gacha games a little bit before we get into the big VG. Azure Lane is still going on with its Sardinian.
But also, in a weird-ass case of parallelism, I believe JP is doing their anniversary right now, so there's a whole shitload of dresses and stuff that came out that we also got.
Yeah, and this is the weird thing, is it's their anniversary, but we're getting the skins. I was just like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, what are we going to get when we are second anniversary? Are we just going to get the
They might just do new skins for us and then also dump them on, like, JP or China.
Yeah, like, I don't know. We have this, as I said, we have this weird parallel relationship, because I think...
The Sardinia stuff's also parallel. That was also just released.
Yeah. But there's a bunch of new skins, and I am pleased to say very pleased that there are brand new Iron Blood skins. I literally bought them all.
I didn't buy them all, but I still had double gems from the reset for our anniversary, so I was like, so I could buy a lucky bag, or I could save $10, buy the 20-pack doubled, and have enough gems to buy a couple skins and be left over. So I bought Tirpitzer dress because I bought Bismarck. Well, no, I think I did the lucky bag and then I bought Bismarck's dress with the leftover gems. So I was like, all right. And that's, funnily enough, that's actually one of Bismarck's lines is Commander, I don't know how to talk to Tirpitz. Could you invite her for me? And then Tirpitz's like skin line is like, Commander, did Bismarck tell you to come get me? And I'm like, yes, she did. Boom, you're here. You have a very pretty dress. And I bought Jean Bart's skin because why not?
I'm still debating if like I bought let's see here. Like I only bought the lucky bag, and I got, oh my god, don't butcher it me. Deutschland. I got hers in the lucky bag, and I was all like, yes, excellent. So then I went immediately and bought Tirpitz and Prince's skin, which is like you get a little bit of this back at New Year's with her kimono skin, but Prince is a bit of a drinker. No, but here's a weird technical thing. I'm pretty sure, like, cause I bought the skin immediately, and I started tapping her to hear her lines, and her lines were unvoiced, which wasn't then shocked me, but she had new lines. But like a day later, there was a maintenance, and she switched back to her original skin's voiced lines. I was just all like, did they take them out?
I don't know. Maybe you need to double check and update your audio and live data. I don't know.
I did already, and so. That's why I'm like, I'm confused. If anyone knows what happened there, it's like, because she had some super cute lines, and I'm hoping they were actually Prince's lines and they weren't actually swapped over like from somewhere else.
Well, I don't know. Most of the skins have their own lines, so
yeah. Actually, let me see here. Skins.
Well, in other news, I've managed to actually pull it out thanks to some cubes. I've rolled 2 formidables so far. Nice. I still don't have Zara, which is kind of cramping my style on immediately building the pizza fleet. We've only got a few days left, so depending on how these last couple of cubes go, I might have to wait until either a rerun or they do a new Sardinia event, whichever one comes first. Because I'm not sure one won't come before the other. I really don't know. Oh, that's
right. I also bought fucking Rune skin, even though I don't have her yet, because I will have her, eventually.
Yeah, that's wow. God, I need to check on my EXPs, but I was somewhere in the 2 million for Monarch, and then I need to work on St. Louis.
Some of the party dresses are fucking permanent, but wait, no.
Yeah, that's always a weird thing that like I forget how many like swimsuits are permanent.
Yeah,
where I was just looking through the skin list and I'm like, God, if I just had like $10, I could like buy a few hundo gems and be like, oh hey. Prince, you've had a skin for forever.
Yeah, but I'm not made of money. I kind of do want Jean Bart's skin, but I only have like 500 gems left.
Yeah, that's how many I have. But
so I'm just like, I don't know. Right now, whatever, I am working on.
Did we talk about the AL popularity poll? Yeah, we did. That's right. We were confused
a little bit. Yeah, like and they're in their next round right now. And
are they actually in their next round? Okay, I gotta get back into it. Because there was a brief break where they were like, voting has stopped, fuck you. I'm like, oh. But...
Yeah, let me see here.
Hood's not gonna get any higher than 6th, but I want to try. Because goddamn, some of the gaps.
Yeah, the gap between Amagi and who was number 2? I can't remember off the top of my
head. What order was it? Was it Z23 or was it Honolulu?
It was one of the two. I was pretty sure.
Because those are the top 3. I just don't remember who was in what position.
Let's see.
If only Panda was here.
Let's see here. Votes.
But like Honolulu, we've talked about this. Honolulu, I completely understand. I don't know why Amagi is so super popular in the West. I don't know, but like, she is. They like her.
This is just like I don't know if this is. Well, no. Yeah, I guess this has to be only a West. I don't think they actually would combine the data from because I don't know if this popularity is this popularity poll going on in the East.
They might have their own, but I don't think that they're collected because this is all through the English server and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll look at it. I'll look at it later. But yeah, right now we're in the Group B, with the top 3 characters who are gonna make it to the finals. And right now we have Bismarck number 1. At 3,820,000. Excuse me, 3,820K. I just realized that.
So I have looked at the Azure Lane wiki, and currently it does not list that CN or JP has the popularity poll ongoing.
Okay, so this is just for us. Number 2 is Baltimore at 2,241K, and third is Unicorn at 2,029K.
Baltimore's pretty baller. I like her.
Yeah, Baltimore is pretty new, but a lot of people have said they liked her personality and design, so that makes sense.
What was that event actually called? This is the problem with Azure Lane events. They all blend together. I'm like, which one was what?
Wasn't like Ashen...
It was Ashen something. I don't remember what. But
it was the one that with the attack on New...
Mm-hmm.
With,
that was a recent one,
New
but
York.
that was super popular. Both Baltimore and Bama were pretty cool in it.
Yeah.
And also we got to meet Evil Takao, who's not out yet. Though data miners have seen that she has a dorm sprite and stuff, so it'll happen.
Number 4
you're gonna get her, and you're gonna get Edgy Prize and all that fun stuff someday.
I'm still waiting for Edgy Royal. Let's see. So yeah, number 4 is right now is Autogo, 5 Serious, 5 Tier Pits. This is the one that makes me laugh so much. Number 7 is the Prototype Bullen.
Well, I mean, the Bullens are very memey.
I love the Bullens. I'm not gonna lie.
That's harsh though. Baltimore and Autogo in the same lineup. I really like Autogo.
And then let's see here. Number 8 is Cleveland, 9 Yamashiro, and 10 Zuikaku.
Right. Though that reminds me of something, because one of the big headliners for this batch of party dresses, I didn't get it. I'm sorry, no offense to her, but it was Shokaku, and I'm like, holy shit, this is Flutie? This is the flute one? I'm like, you look completely different. What the fuck? That said, I believe that their event was pretty early in the lifestyle, so I could see why her art style being a little bit more reserved. And it's like that's sometimes the problem when they do themed costumes. For instance, we double checked this. Honolulu and Zara are drawn by the same artist. They look very similar. It's very hard to tell them apart.
Real talk. There is a lot of Honolulu Zara art coming out together.
Yeah. I think the way you can tell so far is Zara seems to be lewd on purpose. Honolulu is lewd on accident.
Yep. That's a dangerous combo, yo.
Mm-hmm. And Littorio is just thirsty. But anyway. Littorio's fun. This event was really good at setting up the Sardinia ships.
I do enjoy it. I'm just mad that they have sprites for 2 ships and we didn't get them.
Well, yeah, that was the same way with
Iris.
Yeah, Iris, where the ship Jeanne d'Arc had sprites, and I was like, damn you. She rules.
Yeah.
Also, I need more French ships. Though that was one that surprised me. I think Dunkirk was in the top 5 the last round of the populator poll, and I was like, what the fuck? People really liked her that much? I don't hardly remember her. I didn't roll her, so that's part of it, but still. Oh well. I don't listen, I don't know if we want to talk about it, because I don't know if we want to engage certain aspects of Girls Frontline, but apparently, once again, we are not the cutting-edge metagame of the community, so...
I think we can just go around saying that. Again, people put too much... Well, I won't say too much, because, again, people play the game their way.
We had this discussion. If you invested something in a game, that's cool, right? And obviously, you did that investment. But at the same time, your level of investment is not and should not be required of everyone, you know? Yeah. I know a lot of people want to be like, I live and breathe this game. I'm top of the ranking boards. I do all this stuff. And okay, that's good for you. But not everybody has to be that invested. And please don't try to drag everybody up to your level, because it gets really fucking annoying sometimes.
Yeah. So that's what, as I said, I've been playing both fucking Azure Lane and... Oh, no, I can say this. I've been playing, the English versions of Girls Frontline, Azure Lane, and, Girls Frontline Day 1.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I have one of my buddies, Omega, Red, started playing fucking Girls, Frontline, and Azure Lane. And in Girls Frontline, he's fucking, I think 15 levels above me.
How?
Yeah.
He did the you to me.
Yeah.
I don't... Okay, well, I mean, I guess he's having fun.
He's having fun. No, trust me, he loves it. Well, you gotta remember, Red's a fucking army guy who likes guns, so...
Okay, sure.
This was
it's adorable. That's the way I like it. I'm like, Meta, what's that? I want to do cool things. I want to see girls that are also guns.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, P90? Sweet. Give her to me. But, so, I think we mentioned this, well, it's a couple weeks ago now, but I wrote a note and I forgot to talk about it. We want to mention that hey, I don't think we paid enough attention when we had our big Girls Frontline discussion, but yes, we understand. The original Chinese and I think even the Japanese versions were different. They put stuff in at launch in English. That's not a bad thing. Yeah. Like, yeah, the earlier versions of those games were crappier products. That's why when they launched in English, they, kept their effort in. They didn't... This is a thing about video games in general. It's not just about gacha games, but sometimes people have this... We can probably apply it to other stuff in life, heck. But some people have this issue where, like, oh, because I've faced hardships, I must make that a badge of honor. And, like, oh, you didn't suffer how I had to suffer, you suck. You're a dirty casual who didn't try hard at all. No, you just had a shitty experience, okay? And I'm sorry, but you might have to just come to terms with that. It just sucked, okay? That's true of stuff that's not video games. Like, sometimes shit just sucked. And it got better. And it's not like a scratch against those people. Axe is right. Gacha does kind of bring out this kind of Stockholm. It's the cute PNGs. They hook you with the emotional attachment, and then they shit on you. But yes, I do notice this a lot with gacha games, where people are, are like we had that problem with FGO, where people are constantly like, oh man, JP got so many more maintenance gold apples than NA does, and I'm like, that's because the server sucked. Like, JP had, like, literal 24 hours of maintenance sometimes. Do you want that? No, you don't. That's dumb. But because there's this concept that, like, people are getting it better than you, I don't know. It's a whole weird psychological thing we're not going to unpack. But yes, we understand. The game used to be shittier. When they made the English version, they didn't roll back their versions. So it's better, which means, yeah, blah, 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 it's easier. But it's also more accessible, which means more people will download it and spend money on it, which means it's
like, this doesn't just apply to gacha games. Do you know how many fucking video games out there has to have a day one patch?
Constantly. I haven't gotten into it yet, but apparently, not that it would bother me, because I'm still I'm on a regular SPS4, but apparently BL3 has some weird stuff where if you try to run it on an Xbox One X or a PS4 Pro in the high performance modes, it gets a little goopy. It's not well optimized. And it's like, oh, well, they've got to work on it. And that's what happens.
Yeah.
There are games that reinvent themselves. Like, I really want to someday buy No Man's Sky. Like, I was kind of okay with what the game was going to be when it launched, but now it's been through, like, so many revisions and updates and stuff to, like, actually flesh out some of the stuff they said they wanted to do, but clearly didn't have time because they were rushing towards a holiday release and there was all this press hype and blah, blah, blah.
My favorite example of the story is Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, you mean the game that was so shitty at launch they literally tore it down and built it up from scratch again?
Yep.
Yeah.
And they actually and it's actually an end story fucking event thing that happened.
Well, they had to find a way to justify it, I guess. But yeah, no, that's
yeah.
And that's okay. If, like, that is a very unique thing about video games is that you can do that. You can. Like, as much as I think it was Miyamoto who said that, like, a bad game is bad forever, that's not necessarily true anymore. But you can reinvent these things with digital access. Not that Nintendo could. I guess the Switch has patching, I guess, so there is that, at least. But yeah, it's interesting in this medium where, like, you can kind of do that with, like, film or TV, where, like, you can make a director's cut or an extended cut later, and some of those versions are much better. Like, it's freaky how that, like, adding in, like, 20 minutes to a movie can be like, holy shit, this thing's way better. Or, God forbid, cutting from movies. Like, if you can be like, no, this should have been... We wanted this movie to be way shorter, but the studio was like, no, you must have these scenes in for reasons. And you're like, oh, those reasons sucked. You can shave 20 minutes off a movie and suddenly it's amazing.
Ta-da!
But that's not very... I feel like that's gotten less and less common, you know? Ow! Careful. But yeah, so yes, video games do that, and we've talked about this before. The West is a very different mobile game market than China and Japan and Korea, than East Asia. Okay? It's very different. Like, we think of mobile games differently, we handle them differently, we are more sus about spending money on them, so it's... I think we phrased it, you have to bring your A game, because otherwise you're just another shitty top 10 game in Google Play that's like, whatever, that like nobody cares about. So yeah, okay. But the reason why we were briefly mentioning is because the voting happened, and some meta nerds who may possibly be tryhards, I don't want to paint everybody with a broad brush, but some of them may be trying too hard, are upset that a popularity-based poll was popular. And obviously, we know in this country from experience, sometimes democracy is dumb. But that's what happens. So I don't really want to get into it, but apparently people are not happy, and I'm just like, whatever, dude. I'm like, I can't even fucking do any of these because Mosin didn't win, so I'm like, well, I can't do any of these right away.
Well, it's like me in Azure Lane. There's a fuck ton of retrofits I haven't done yet. And I'm like...
Though there was one I was like, which... Oh, it's Lamar's. I was like, I opened her up to like feed her a bullet or something, and I was like, oh, holy shit, you already have a retrofit? Oh shit, girl. Okay.
I'm crying though that I still don't have Warspite or Leipzig retrofit.
Yeah, they need to bring this in.
Popularity poll is popular, was what I heard. Very astute.
That's what I said. That's accurate.
Yeah.
But no, Axe, we're just talking about how there was for Girls Frontline, they, rather than roll them out how they did in just clumps, they decided to speed up the rolling up process of neural mods, which is the retrofit type system. And they did 3 blocks of voting between several T-dolls to vote for who would win.
You see, here's the thing, like, honestly, I can't really be upset with this method, because it basically means that the community will get the neural mods that the community wants. Because clearly, if it's a popularity poll, then that means the majority wanted this. So
I think in particular people were upset about, well, yes, some people were upset about G36, I think.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, whoever was with her in the lineup was way more meta pick. You're gonna cruise farming and do better at ranking or some dumb shit.
It is big.
But hey, guess what? I bet she won because she's got a shitload of skins and she's super popular and stuff. Huh.
Yeah. That's what people wanted, and that's what people's gonna get. So again, don't blame the game, blame the people, blame the majority.
I think some of them were blaming the majority, but hey, guess what? You're a vocal minority, I guess, so. If you're gonna be all elitist and stuff, you're not gonna educate anybody. So, and I don't know, it's weird to, like, demand education out of people. 'Cause how the fuck would they know that whoever it was that they were complaining about was the ultra meta pick that was super the coolest and will make everything better forever? How would they know that? Were you actually talking to people who played the game about how they should vote this way because they were really cool? And did you actually reach them? This was the thing that was like one of the many reasons why we don't advertise on Reddit anymore. Was just that for FGO the Reddit community was very insular, and it was like there were only like a few thousand people active at a time. And oh yeah, this game has fucking millions of downloads. So it's like sometimes the community talks like they're the big shit, and like we are the people who know. And I'm like, you don't know shit. There's so many more millions of people playing this game. Do you know how many people a million is?
A lot.
Can you even see a million people? Can your eyes see that many? It's a lot of fucking people. So, and I assume that like Girls Frontline and AL have multiple millions of DLs, even if they don't advertise them. But yeah, so that's just our usual thing about like, it's not that the complainer is always wrong or anything, but there is a certain amount of saltiness, and I'm just like, whatever. Listen, you guys will get your shit eventually. All the mods already exist in those other versions. You could just play them, or you could wait until they come out like a normal person. Yeah. Like I said, the neural mod thing doesn't really matter to me because they talk you through the whole process, so it's like, so you gotta be level 100, and then you gotta do this thing, and that thing, and that other thing, and you gotta get to like level 120, I think, to get all the way to mod 3, and I'm just like, oh, so I'm not getting this done anytime this year. That's why I said that I wanted Mosin Nagant to win, because that's out of all those T-dolls who could get neural mods, I'm like, oh, that's like my only one that's decently leveled. Like, she's pretty close to level 100. I think she's, X5'd already and stuff. So I'm like, that I could do. I could do that one. Oh, she didn't win? Guess I'll wait. Like a normal person.
I mean, they're all gonna come out fucking eventually. I don't know when, but eventually.
Ooh, that's a saucy Bowsette pick that you should probably check out in Hella Not Safe for Work.
I will check it
Remember
out.
when we had to, like, have an emergency show and talk just about Bowsette? That was a year ago.
Actually, Bowsette has been making this really weird resurgence recently. I don't know why.
It's because they said it's her quote-unquote birthday. It's the anniversary.
Oh, really?
Of the phenomena, yeah. So people brought it back.
I did not know that.
At least cool. That's what I assume they mean by the fact that they said that it's her birthday. I'm like, oh, it must be the anniversary of the thing. A year has passed. So I'm like, that's cool.
Or is it
that came back.
Birthday?
It could also be. I don't know. I don't know if Bowser has a birthday. That seems like a weird Nintendo fact. Like, was it about Toad?
I don't know.
Is it that Toad has shoes or doesn't have shoes or something? I don't know. Or did Nintendo say if Toad has a hat? Or it's his head? I don't know. They said something dumb about Toad not too long ago, and I'm just like, why? Nobody asked. God damn it, Twitter. Why are images links, and why is open link always at the top?
Lucky right now is sending positive vibes to a not safe for work artist that he talks with.
I'm gonna post a dumb meme image in games. But yeah, so I don't think we have much to talk about in gacha. Because we're doing stuff. Sardinia's almost over. We'll see if I get Zara or not. We bought some skins. Azure Lane continues to be good.
That's something I want to talk about real quick before we talk about Tokyo Game Show. September 24th, Sony will be having a State of Play show.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They're doing the State of Play. They've confirmed that PS5 will not be there, but Last of Us 2 should be.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll finally get a release date for that.
Yes. A lot of people are assuming that 2 will either be like the first thing that comes out on PS5, or it will be the last thing that comes out on PS4.
Yeah.
As is pretty typical with generations. Not that I'm in a rush for that. Though, I don't know. How much storage space do you think they're going to stick in a PS? Oh, but games are going to get huger. God damn it, storage.
They're probably going to, I wouldn't be surprised if they're probably going to have a 1 terabyte option. As I said, I was actually, because, as you guys know, I've been trying to work on this computer. Mm-hmm. And, companies are slowly starting to go with, bigger and bigger size options. But this is also meaning that due to how big storage works, they're not able to quietly use these small storage options anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the systems, but, literally, systems that run under, 1 terabyte have to use a quote-unquote legacy system. And if they're moving on to the, next generation, they might just forego the legacy system just to stick with the new system.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Though I do believe that they confirmed that PS5 will actually be backwards compatible. For once. Thank God, Sony. That was in their, little list of features. Which I'm like, yes! Can you stick a PS3 and a PS2 emulator in it? I still have those discs, guys. Please, help me out.
Lucky is fine, and the fact that he... Actually, not to think about it, I have, so much Sony. I had a lot of my friends know that I'm collecting game consoles, and so they'll just literally give me shit.
Mm.
And my friend literally just gave me his old PSP and a bunch of fucking games.
Nice.
And
my problem was my PS2 is broken, and my PS3 isn't a launch one anymore because that also broke.
Oh god.
Shoot, now you just saying "oh god" is I don't know why, but it just made me go, I need my phone. Why am I don't have my phone? I have grinding to do. I'm gonna go get my phone.
So, yeah, right now I have a PS1, a PS2, I have a Gen 1 PS3. That's actually hooked up right now. A PS4, a fucking PSP. I had a PlayStation Vita, but I sold it because I needed money. So, damn it. I kinda wish I had it. Because then I would have the whole PlayStation family. God damn it.
Well, they have a PlayStation 1 Mini.
Is that an alligator? Oh my. I have to retweet this just because I have no context for this information.
Well, I'll see it in a second then. But okay, so that was State of Play. Where are we talking about next?
So, let's see here. Yeah, I don't think we really have much to talk about gacha games anywhere. State of Play. We're really gonna go on about like fucking Fire Emblem. So do you want to get that now, or can I talk about other stuff?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So actually, Omega, I don't know. Did you watch the Death
I did
Stranding
not watch
trailer?
the full Big Boy gameplay video.
Yeah, I did. Like, like I think it was like 2 or 3 days ago, while everyone was in chat playing Cards Against Humanity. Lucky was watching the Death Stranding video, and it Hideo Kojima was talking over it, but I wasn't watching the English subtitle version. I was like, Hideo, even if you talk about this game, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna understand anything. So I'll just stick with the original, not to worry about subtitles over everything. So, like, from what you can tell, it's like, yes, from what we understand, like, yes, this game is just you being a fucking package boy, delivering things across cities and connecting everything back again. But the amount of detail that is going into you being a package boy is fucking ridiculous, and it's amazing. I love it. So first off, there's going to be a weight and balance system. So like you can how much you can carry, how you carry it will fucking you can fall over if you get into too deep of water. You'll not be able to move. You can drop stuff. You can move things on different sides of your body to balance things out. Other things like your boots, you can carry different pairs of boots because as you walk, you'll wear your boots out and it causes damage to your feet. There's different modes of transportation. One they recently showed is this kind of hover cart thing that you can put boxes in, and you can even ride yourself at some. And then
you have your sweet bike, some other stuff.
You have exoskeletons.
Yeah, I was about to say, as far as I can tell, this game is just it's Kojima's usual high level definition of simulations and stuff. So it's oh yeah, we're gonna simulate balance and stuff. It's he's been doing this forever in Metal Gear Solid with oh, if you do blah blah blah, this interesting interaction will happen.
Yeah.
Even if you go back to Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation, footprints. You would leave footprints in the snow and sentries would be like, huh, footprints. I'm gonna follow them. And they'd follow them, and if they found you, they'd fucking find you.
Yeah. But yeah, and you can do interesting things like rest. Because you actually do have a stamina and stamina system and whatnot. And so, sometimes you need to actually sit down and take a breather, take a nap. And it keeps track of how long you actually do these things and its effects.
Of course it does. I bet there's a secret cosmetic thing you get for sleeping too much and sleeping not enough.
Yeah, probably.
That's another thing Kojima's always been about, is tracking statistics.
Yeah. You can also get interesting effects, when you're resting, you can pull out a harmonica. It was a reward actually for an in-game quote unquote quest. You can find the one that they used to hint is you basically found a lost package and you delivered it, and the guy was like, "Oh, sweet, thanks. Have this harmonica attachment to your sweet suit." And so basically at that point, whenever you're take a rest, you can pull out your harmonica and blow on it. And the effect of it is that if you play it, your BB likes it and gives you likes. Because this is another thing that is apparently is, I don't know if it's your rating score or your grade is determined by likes, thumbs ups.
Of course it is. Of course, Kojima would turn social media commentary into a thing.
Yeah, and so basically, as you make your packages, as you gather likes and stuff, but here's the thing: you don't necessarily will gather likes. You can also give them too, because Kojima has been going, this is all a game about connections, and this is something I actually found pretty fucking interesting. As apparently, other players playing this game can leave their equipment or whatever around. The example in this that they used is that there's a chasm that Sam used the ladder, the extending ladder equipment to cross. And on the way back, you notice that there was two. And one would have been placed by another player. And you can use it and give it a like. And there's a bunch of examples, other players could mark landmarks. Other players could leave equipment, supplies behind. and all that stuff. And I like this idea. The only thing that bugs me, like, I'm gonna say this immediately, the only thing that bugs me is I hope there's a way that it doesn't become overbearing.
I'm gonna assume there's gonna be like a cap of how many it loads.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, because like I don't want to be wandering here. Like I don't mind, getting assistance here and there, but I don't want my entire game just be littered with everyone already like solving like whatever traversal problems.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't want it to be like the 2 ladders thing is cute. You don't want it to be like, oh, for some reason your game has loaded every person in your server region who ever put a ladder here, so now there's 50 ladders all, turning into a giant physics clusterfuck and becoming a helicopter.
Yeah, so like I'm hoping that, like I said, there's some sort of limitation. Maybe it's like whoever's in your friends list.
Yeah, I was about to say, maybe it's your friends list based. That would be good. Maybe that's the thing you can set. It's like you can set the detail level to like completely offline, friends, anybody.
Like maybe friends of friends. Because as I said, like, you do want like some connection. Because otherwise, like, if I just says the friends, I'm pretty sure it's just going to be Omega.
Well, you don't know. Axe might get it.
Axe might get it. I don't know.
I'm also like, if it's super public, I'm like, on the one hand, I know that Kojima's not averse to that sort of commentary, but also I really hope we can avoid, griefing. Like, somebody stole your shit when you walked away from it.
I don't know if people can actually take it, but
yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see about the mechanics, but I'm like,
So again, I'm excited. Like again, they showed a lot. Like they showed off 2 combats. They showed off because again, this game isn't just.
Yeah, some people have been joking that this is like some people have been saying Death Stranding looks boring. You're just delivering packages, but this is the gameplay that Kojima is willing to show. We know there's freakier shit going on, but it's Kojima, so he's not going to like throw it all on the ground.
Yeah, so one of the combats was between like just some people living out there. Like I'm not entirely sure what their deal is, what their faction is, but apparently they like don't like you and they want to like throw fucking electric spears at you.
Right, those assholes. The trailers called those guys, the really big long trailer called those guys something, but I don't remember.
Yeah. So it showed off combat with them. There's like a little bit of stealth elements. There's there's hand-to-hand combat. Sam got a bullet gun. It was really fucking sweet. I was like, yes, I need more bullet guns in my life. I don't know if there's yeah. You can get in vehicles. They can fucking, you can get in vehicles. You can steal them. You can beat people up. I don't know if you can actually kill anybody. I don't think it's shown Sam actually killing anyone.
I'm gonna assume because of the way the game works, killing people is probably a big deal. Like, yeah. I could be like Metal Gear Solid 3, where they literally come back to haunt you.
The fear.
Or in Metal Gear Solid 4, if you kill too many dudes, Snake has a PTSD moment and he pukes.
Oh.
Where like Kojima's full of like micro commentary like that.
Yeah.
Where he really likes to get in there and deconstruct your expectations about video games and be like, yo, you don't have to kill people.
Yeah. So
except Kojima, when you program it so that 50 million dudes, I'm on the hilltop section of Metal Gear Solid 3 and there's a bajillion Russian guys with RPGs and flamethrowers coming to kick my ass. But anyway.
So yeah, there's definitely mundane comment, but I don't know how frequently it's gonna be. They could just be set up as mini set pieces in between quote unquote story segments. Like I said, I don't know how this it looks like this game is in episodes, I want to say.
That sounds like Kojima.
Yeah.
Well, heck, that was how you've seen Kojima evolve, right? That was how Metal Gear Solid 5 was, where everything was they rolled credits before every mission.
Yeah. Like you can even say that in Metal Gear Solid 4 with every chapter starting off with Sonny making eggs.
Yes, everything was called an act, like a player movie structure.
Yeah. As we've constantly said, Kojima wants to make movies with video games.
Yes. He loves movies and he loves American pop culture and he wants to take those apart and also make video games, but also he's been doing that for forever. The dude's like 50. So he also takes apart video games and he fits them back together like Legos, and it's a trip. And I am ready.
So,
I do not want off Mr. Kojima's wild ride.
Yeah. So, new to this, they actually showed off what happens when you get caught by, I don't even know what to fucking call them. The black things that like
those guys.
Those guys. They showed a little bit of Sam trying to sneak one of the areas, and he got caught, got pulled over, and he kind of went into what I want to call a mini boss realm, where like there's this black goop that like is trying to like swallow him up, and he has to like jump on buildings, and there's this giant horse-looking thing that he has to throw blood-filled grenades on. It was actually really interesting. I think that was it. Like, you actually have to use a grenade. Like, I couldn't, like, tell the details for sure, but you have to use a grenade that fills up with your blood, and you throw it at the, thing, and it damages it. Like, it was pretty badass. Like, I'm hoping there's, like, other means of fighting it. I don't remember if
probably, because that is a pretty common thing, is escalation in Kojima games. Like, you start at one level, and then you're like, you beat this guy, so hey, have his cool toy. Like, the boss had a gimmick, but now that you've beaten him, you get his gimmick.
Yeah, we'll see. Kojima did say, like, the boss, like, felt pretty, I don't want to say Soulsborne, but it seemed pretty difficult, and Kojima was like, oh yeah, no, this is the weakest one, and the lady who's been going, next to him was like, what?
Nani?
Nani? Nandato! So
or the ever popular
yeah, she was going a lot.
Well, yeah, that's basically the Japanese version of the universal pause word.
So,
I'm sorry, come again.
So it was really cool, and so it's like combat is definitely not gonna be skimped on in this. I think it's just gonna be combat is going to be a little bit more controlled.
Yeah, it sounds like Kojima's going for once a genuine, you're just a dude, okay? You're just doing your job.
Like, here's the thing. Like, real overworlds just don't have fucking guys wandering around in deep dark corners for no goddamn reason.
Right. And heck, even 5 didn't do that. It was like,
yeah,
you only ran into dudes if you were on a patrol route, where they would regularly send out patrols, which it makes sense, it was an active combat zone, or you saw them in towns and outposts, which is a thing.
Yeah, and there was, I don't want to say miles, but there was kilometers of fucking nothing.
Yeah, when you pop down into the Afghanistan desert, if you picked a point to spawn in the middle of fucking nowhere, you were in the middle of fucking nowhere. That's why he gave you jeeps and stuff. Heck, that's why you start with the horse, I think.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, no, there's... Kojima knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Again, like, everything I've seen has not whittled my hype one bit. Like, I try to use the mindset of getting, like, cautiously hype for games. Like, no, there is no caution. There is only hype.
I mean, it will be an experience no matter what.
Yep.
Which is A-okay.
A-okay. Let's see here.
It's funny, though. I saw some people, you can, when you go back to base, apparently, I've seen this because I've seen screen caps and stuff, and trailers, you can have Sam, like, relax and do, like, a photo mode, and you can do cosmetic customizations, like, pick your hat and stuff.
Yeah, apparently, Sam, like, when he gets to cities, goes into a safe room, where he can sleep, shower, shit, use the bathroom.
Yeah. Where you can be actually, honest to God, safe.
Yeah. Where you can take a break.
And you can take selfies, basically. You can take screen caps in this. But because it's Kojima, if you, like, try to take a picture of his crotch area, like, Sam will get annoyed and try and push it away. And some people were like, now, if only we did this for lady characters, to which some people posted some very telling screenshots from Metal Gear Solid 2, where Kojima already did that in the past, nerds. Because Metal Gear Solid 2 will chew your shit out if you perv on ladies. What are the consequences to having your girlfriend on the magic phone line?
I remember this happened in 4 with the fucking toads, with the fucking frogs, because all the frogs were women. And if you tried to fucking pat them down. They just fucking kick you.
Yeah, well, yeah. If for dudes, you could go for the nut squeeze, and that knocks them out instantly. Well, it stunned them. If they didn't fall asleep, they were just stunned for a few seconds. If you try to do that on a frog, you're basically trying to cop a feel, and she fucking kicks your ass.
Yeah. But Kojima is also on the other side of that with fucking Meryl's underwear scenes and Quiet's look at my butt. And I'm like, yes, I will look at your butt.
Here's the thing. I think Kojima understands real women and stuff, much like, he has a realistic understanding of people and lets him talk these little tales for like, hey, don't be he's all about letting the player be an asshole and be like, dude, you shouldn't have been an asshole. What the fuck? Why would you do that? Yeah. 'Cause he likes to question the player, but also he is a man who makes video games and understands, yeah, fucking figures and cosplay is a thing. So like, I want people to like buy merch and do cool shit. So whatever. Like, I don't know. It's especially in the Metal Gear Solid original on the PlayStation days. Like, you can't fucking see anything. It's like, oh, Meryl's in her underwear, I guess. That's the thing. There's not a shitload of chemistry between her and Snake.
Meryl? Yeah, no.
But that's because Snake's an action movie hero, and that's the whole thing. And
also, Meryl's more idolizes Snake than really...
Yeah, because she's heard about him from the Colonel, and she's like, dude, Snake, you're the coolest. And Snake's like, I don't know, I'm just Snake and stuff. That's not me trying to seriously do Snake. Yeah. What's a Russian gunship doing here? Metal Gear. That wasn't high enough at the end. It wasn't a question mark. That was a period. Indeed. Yeah, you gotta try a little, but there's lots of meta commentary in these games.
Yeah.
And okay, some people complained about Quiet, but have you seen Snake's butt ever? Like, he was doing that for like 4 whole games before that, and then only now, just because he had a chick in a bikini, you were like, whoa, Kojima, you're an old guy now. That's not cool. And I'm like, dude, did you play 4? Have you seen the sneaking suit?
I remember people actually I think they got upset about the latest match because Snake's ass wasn't as perky as it was in the previous game.
No, they, much like with Samus, they nerfed Snake.
Yeah.
Which is a damn shame. Because Snake has always had a great butt, as we said.
Yeah.
Even in the low poly days. I know, people like to make fun of the whole zoom in on Meryl's butt thing. In a game that crappily definitioned, I think that's the only way, because the whole point was to call attention to the fact that she has a different walk cycle than the other mooks, because it will be important later. And so it's like, how can you illustrate that in the game in a way that's not just Snake says to himself, she walked kind of funny. Like, which he will comment that later if you talk to her and be like, yo, I can tell you don't walk like the others. You don't act like the other soldiers in here, but it's, it's subtle things.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say that Kojima might not be a little pervy, but he's usually pretty universal.
He strikes a fine balance, I think I want to say.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing, and he will make fun of you for it either way. Yeah, that's the thing. The thing about Metal Gear Solid is that it's a love letter / satirization of action movie themes. It's gotten less that as time has gone on, but the original Metal Gears and then the first Metal Gear Solid are very much action movie pastiches. And heck, we talked about that article about the guy who localized the original Metal Gear Solid. He did his research into Tom Clancy style novels and action movies to get the language right.
Yeah, fucking Snake is I don't want to say a direct clone, but is heavily inspired by the main hero from, what was it, Escape from New York?
Yeah, Snake Plissken.
Yeah. Which is called out in Metal Gear Solid 2, actually.
Mm-hmm. That's his codename. He's Iroquois Plissken.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so there's a lot of deep commentary, and I'm sure Kojima has some deep cuts hidden in Death Stranding somewhere. I don't really know what the genre of Death Stranding is supposed to be. I don't think anybody knows. But
well, that's why it's literally being called genre-defying. He's trying to literally make a new genre based on connection.
It reminds me, though, of, experimental ass, like sci-fi movies.
Well, to be fair, like this whole kind of like I'm not saying Kojima is writing on it, but in the past, I want to say like 5 to 7 years, there has definitely been an emphasis on less action-oriented games in favor of story and just walking somewhere. Like,
well, and Kojima's attached to PlayStation, which means that was the big thing Kojima Productions did when they finally split, was Kojima took like half a year to a year off
and just ran around
checking out Sony's other first-party studios. So he went to Guerrilla. He's probably been to Naughty Dog a few times to talk to those guys and stuff like that. So he has seen a lot of the story-driven stuff. And from what we've heard of, like, at least out of Sony Computer Entertainment America, like, if you talk to Sean Layden, it's like, no, dude, we're 100% in on the single-player experiences. Like, Steam and Xbox can double down on multiplayer, and Xbox can be like, oh, you can have cross-compatibility between PCs and Xboxes, because they're basically the same thing. But he's like, no, dude, we're gonna make fucking single-player experiences, and we're gonna make some of the best-selling games of all time. And, deal with it.
Yeah.
You can't say it was a bad decision. Spider-Man, huge breakout hit. God of War, huge breakout. Last of Us.
Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn was only... It was... The only reason it didn't do as well as it does is because Breath of the Wild came out at like almost the exact same time.
Yes, it was paired up with another genre buster, which is like... But Nintendo has been pulling out all the stops for the Switch. The Switch is their new baby. Like somebody posted it was an Inside Gaming video, which I didn't bother to watch yet, but because I already assumed I knew what it would say. But it was basically like, so Switch Lite came out, the 3DS is dead. Long live the Switch Lite. Ta-da. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's to be expected. They made the portable only version of the Switch, so that's their gaming thing now. They're on fucking carts still, and like, yeah, no, it's Nintendo knows what they're doing. The Switch is going to be their thing for probably a extra long generational length. Like, they'll probably iterate on it a few times, but Nintendo has already realized we're not playing the same game that other like console developers are. So we're going to do our own thing, and we're going to pull out all the stops.
Mm-hmm.
Where, if you don't have anything further to say about Death Stranding, this is a great transition. A great segue.
So, I guess like I told you last week, I was planning on hooking up my capture card and streaming some Astral Chain, but due to technical difficulties and a lot of irritation, that hasn't happened. So I did temporarily take a break from Three Houses, and I played Astral Chain, and I beat it, and it's fucking amazing. Like, oh my god. So if you want to hear like an official Lucky review, Lucky's gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10. With its only real it's my really only complaint is a somewhat cliched story and a steep difficulty curve. Now, I really can't fault the on them on either points, because, as I said, it is the combat system is definitely entertaining and fun, but unless you have a particular drive, you will find yourself relying on the same moves over and over again, and not utilizing the full arsenal that you get. So, Astral Chain has a great opening sequence. Okay, so you know how, like, in most video games, like, you'll show your developers and publishers, then you'll go to a menu, you push start, you customize your character, and then you play the opening sequence.
Mm-hmm.
Astral Chain just starts with the opening sequence. You don't even get to go to the menu.
Ooh, a cold open.
Yep. You start with a cold open. You see a little bit of stuff. You hear on the radio that the guy radio's like, "Oh no, there's some shit happening." It's like, we'll send in one of the rookies, and then you'll screw them. It's like, because apparently you're twins, and when it shows basically the twins, it's all like, it lets you pick which one you're gonna be, and then you get to customize your character. Okay. You customize your character, you do a slow zoom in on your character's face, and then the screen fades out into your character on a fucking motorcycle, and you go immediately into a high-speed motorcycle chase, shooting fucking demons on your bike. And you're just like, still, no menu. It's like, no, you just go straight into gameplay. And from there, you do what is basically the prologue chapter, and just keep going from there. Afterwards, you will, like, if you were to quit the game, and you'll go to an actual menu where you can go to menus and stuff. The game starts off in English. I actually played the entire thing in English, but then I went back. Oh, there are menus. I can't actually do it in Japanese. Okay. Because as you guys know, Lucky's usually a guy, if he has the option, he will play a Japanese game in Japanese. But no, the English voices are pretty okay. Like, I do not mind them. So, as I said, like, I don't know if I want to call this, Platinum's greatest game, because, Nier Automata is, still a fucking thing. But it's really...
Also, I don't know about you, but the first Bayonetta was also pretty rad, just saying.
Yeah. It's all like, but it is definitely something to be called a platinum-worthy game.
Nice.
So, as I said, like, your main characters are fucking cops. Then you become super cops.
Then you become JoJo cops.
Yep. And basically, your whole shtick is you're basically on this, you're the last city of humanity, and you're under attack from fucking another world that comes through gates. They're called fucking chimeras. And there's two types. There's the type that the public can see, which, cops can actually deal with. And then there's the other type that cops cannot see, and they're the type that your department have to deal with. Let's see, I don't really want to get into too much spoilers about it.
I will play it sometime, just like all my other Platinum games. I don't know right away though, because we're coming to the home stretch of the year, and I've got stuff to get.
Oh god, yeah, I got some stuff. But as I said, so basically the main gist is, no.
Why would I do that? I want to play the game. First of all, I don't watch that person at all. I barely know who you're talking about.
So
I also like action titles. I like to play those, like, because that's the thing. There's some games you can watch somebody and you don't want to backseat, but there are other games where you watch somebody and you're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, some people don't read any of the tutorials and shit. That's why I couldn't watch Markiplier play Alien too long, or Prey, because he spent too much time freaking out about stuff and not enough time playing the actual goddamn game.
Yeah, everyone has their own playstyle. I think the only game that I've actually sit down and watched from beginning to end is Jacksepticeye play The Last Guardian, because I was like, yeah, no, I'm down with this. So, basically shit happens, and you become like the department's biggest and greatest hope, and eventually you gain like several legions to switch around with, and each of them have their own special abilities and their own combat style. You yourself get a few different weapons to try. There's a lot of things to upgrade. Lot of different enemies, like small puzzles to enjoy. A lot of side quests. And lots of little things like one of the side quests is literally just finding cats, basically, and every file is basically its own area, and thankfully each file, like, the areas aren't completely linear. There are like side paths and exploration and side quests on all of them. Some involve combat, some don't. Like, as I said, in every file there's a toilet and a cat to find.
Wow.
Basically, if you find the bathroom and use it, you get an item. And then in your main headquarters, in your bathroom, there is a toilet fairy who needs these items for reasons. Don't ask what. I don't know why. I haven't freed the toilet fairy because I haven't found all the bathrooms yet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's not any weirder than the, like, Bayonetta. Hey, you get power ups from lollipops. Bayonetta has such a huge lollipop problem. That's what all your fucking power ups are.
So, like, another like major one is finding cats. You find a cat, you put it in your special cat house that you can visit and feed cats. And hang out with cats.
Oh, that's so Japanese. But I love it. Alright, so Astral Chain's gone out my desire to buy list a lot faster.
Like, every level has a metal slime, a golden metal slime that you can beat.
Cool.
And it also has this is one thing that does kind of bugs me about the Nintendo Switch, is Nintendo Switch doesn't have its, a in-system, achievement system. Like, cause you know how PlayStation 4, like PlayStation has their trophies. And
I know a lot of people complain about trophies because there's not a direct score level correlation like gamer score, but it still tracks all your shit.
Yeah, I enjoy them because if I'm enjoying a game, but I don't want to like necessarily have my attention wane, I can work on trophies. And
well, yeah, they give you something to track external to the game, and
yeah.
Also, this is something I know people who are even the most hardcore of Xbox gamerscore guys. PSN has platinum trophies. When you get all the trophies, you get a special trophy that's like, yo, you platinum this shit, bro.
Yeah. So, like, I enjoy that. And Nintendo doesn't have that, but Astral Chain has that end game with orders. Basically, like, when you complete a file, if you take pictures of so many monsters or people, save so many cats, do move so many times, it just tracks you and you get a reward every time. So I'm like, oh, neat.
That's one of those things where you can tell that, like, Platinum's been making games long enough, and they made enough games that had, like, achievos and trophies and stuff that they were like, we know what people like. We're gonna put all these dumb mechanics in the game, even if it's on the Switch and there's no universal system for it. We'll build one because we know who plays these games.
Yeah. So it's like level up your legions, you know, use your legion special moves so many times. It's also a great way to incentivize, you know, diversifying your playstyle and stuff.
Yeah, that can be a problem, cause, like, I'm remembering, like, the original Bayonetta, but also this was how Nier is, too, where it's like, I don't know, I really like this one sword and or gun. I like this combo setup. I don't want to do anything different, but then it's like, oh, but yo, you know, you need to, you know, try up something different. Equip the ice skates for once, nerd. That's actually a lie. In Bayonetta, I always used ice skates because there was no bottom half to the katana. And in case you forgot, Bayonetta has hands and leg slots. Because her heels are guns. God, I love Bayonetta. I need to buy what's it? 2. They have a 2 on the or is it are we up to, did we actually make 3 Bayonettas and they actually all came out? I don't remember now.
No, I'm pretty sure we don't have a Bayonetta 3 yet.
It's on the way, I think.
It's on the way, I think.
But yeah, I need to get it. I need to get the 2 for the Switch cuz they have a Switch version cuz it was only on the Wii U like madmen. Not even on the Wii U. The lunatics. That's lucky. Actually, this is a good question. I'm going to completely derail the conversation, but which is worse? Banishment to the PSP or banishment to the Wii U?
I want to say Wii U. It's like, I don't know why, but Sony is a lot more on board with, like, bringing games over from their PSP, PSV era into digital.
Yeah, Nintendo's weird about re-releases.
CCC is a fucking...
Well, CCC's problem is that it never got released in English. So it only sold okay in Japan, where the PSP was a thing. Now, that said, we do know that, like we've said, Type Moon has a new studio specifically for other game stuff, not just VNs and whatever NAS was working on with FGO. They opened up a whole new studio arm, which is focused on video games. So I'm really hoping they can find a publisher to do a extra bundle on PS4 or something, because those are
like some like even weird stupid like PSP games like get re-released or
heck, we talked about how there was a whole wave of, because the Vita didn't go anywhere. I counted the PSP as the same thing as the Vita, but they're slightly different. But
yeah,
there was a whole wave of remasters of Vita games on PS4. You know, Lucky played Caligula Effect. There were several others. Lots of them got anime adaptations, but that was a whole thing where it was like, yo, this Vita game is gonna get upgraded to HD and come out on PS4 and be a real game that people will actually play. And it's like, holy shit, the Vita had lots of amazing games that nobody ever bought because it sold like ass.
Yeah, the Wii U like also had some pretty decent games, but it's just like slow.
Well, it didn't do enough different is the problem. Like Nintendo thought their gimmick was going to be the pad, the tablet, and it was, but it wasn't as iconic as Wii remotes. And then just I don't know. People who actually owned a Wii U, tell me, did Nintendo bring their A game to the Wii U? Because this is the thing. I can say with surety, I own 2 Switch games only. They are phenomenal. Nintendo is bringing their A game with first-party titles on the Switch. Like, these are big fucking, big boy, big nuts games.
Let's see. Wii U, I definitely remember playing Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U. I had fun with that.
And they did a complete Game of the Year re-release on the Switch.
Mm-hmm. What else did I play on the Wii U?
They also did that with Mario Kart.
Yeah, Mario Kart. Play Mario Kart on the Wii U, but Mario Kart's like an every fucking system IP. I did not play. Let's see. I played. Wind Waker HD came out on the Wii U. I played that on there because I fucking love Wind Waker. I'm trying to think of like actual original games that came out on the Wii U that I liked. Yoshi's Woolly World came out on the Wii U.
Fair.
That was a cute game. It was hella cute.
But yeah, so I'm like,
No,
I don't know. It didn't seem like there were a couple of titles like I said, but when Bayonetta 2 was like Wii U exclusive, I was like, fuck, why would you do this to me? Why would you cut me so deep personally, Platinum and Nintendo? Why?
Oh, the first little Platoon was on Wii U.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Let's see, Super Mario Maker, Pikmin 3. I literally just pulled up Wii U games because I'm like,
okay.
Mario
Maker was definitely a killer app, but that was way late into the Wii U's life cycle. And Nintendo did a smart where, like, what is it, like, barely 2 years later? It doesn't seem like it's been that long since Mario Maker started, but they made a sequel and brought it to Switch, so.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
Xenoblade Chronicles X was on a Wii U. People are still screaming for that. Let's see here. Wonderful 101.
I'm sure they'll get it eventually. Axe is will not shut up about Wonderful 101, so. That was probably one of those crying shame games. Like, I remember my crying shames of the PSP was always stuff like, well, obviously Fate Extra, but also like, Crisis Core.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff like
that. Well, I actually beat
like,
Crisis Core on the PSP. I cried.
Neato. I'm hoping that even if Remake doesn't necessarily, like, bring that out directly, that that revitalizes the Final Fantasy VII nostalgia, and maybe we can get, like, an HD re-release of that game and other stuff. Guys, like, I've said that I just want the 7 Remake to just include and incorporate all this horseshit from the compilation, but also if we could just re-release some of those games, because there's a lot of fucking shit in the compilation. Holy shit, guys! Like, damn! Like, some of them, nobody will want to be, except maybe me. Nobody will want to be like, I want to buy Dirge of Cerberus HD, but
I wouldn't mind if they just remade Dirge of Cerberus.
If they remade Dirge of Cerberus into like a real fucking shooting game, then sure. God, if they could get Platinum to do it.
Yeah, just make it a third-person over-the-shoulder camera. Fucking.
Just make it Bayonetta, but instead of Bayonetta, you're fucking Vincent. That'd work.
I actually say make it Devil May Cry because they have the same energy.
True, same thing. But yeah, it's the problem was it was a PS2 game, and while Square Enix's CG department was great, hey, they literally made some movies. Like, they have actually legitimately made, like, movies and TV and stuff. But the gameplay department couldn't keep up because it was a weird action shooter game. Which was like, that's a little off-brand.
Remember, I enjoyed
Vincent
it,
has a machine gun.
I love that. I love the fucking gun customization mechanic.
I mean, there's a lot to love about the game, but there's also a lot that was just like, you guys clearly had no idea how to make this, and thus you just did a thing. And I'm like, whatever, that's what you did. And once again, hey, that's how things used to be on the PS2 when there was no patches and shit.
Like,
also, apparently there was a shitload more extra content that was in the JP-only online mode, where you learned a lot of backstory shit that you couldn't get, because we didn't get that here. But yeah, it needs some polish.
Oh yeah, I was talking about fucking Astral Chain.
Yes, you were doing your Astral Chain review, and that got us off about, like, Platinum and stuff.
Yeah. So, I guess I say, like, the story's pretty cliched. You see the person, you're like, you see a person, you're like, you're totally gonna be a bad guy at the end. Don't fucking lie to me. I see your shadiness. You know, it's like, but it, like, oh my god, like, some of the action set pieces are fucking amazing. Like, again, you start off with a fucking high-speed motorcycle segment. There's a lot of times where you're like, there's a boss. There's like a couple times where there is a boss that you're trying to get to, and is literally throwing lasers, and you have to like one of the moves that I like is that, as I say, you're connected to your Legion by a chain, and you can use your chain to throw your Legion, or your Legion can use the chain to pull you to a location, and that's how you like jump large gaps.
Your Astral Chain?
Yep. Okay. For Astral.
Had to just throw that in there.
Yep.
Also, I really don't want to interrupt your flow, but at the same time, I really want to yell at Axe. Axe, why? Why? Are you physically incapable of not elaborating? You don't have to describe everything. It's okay. Lucky knows, and I don't need to know because I'm going to buy it later. Okay, I'm sorry about that, Lucky. Continue, please.
So there'll be boss segments where basically there's a giant boss and they're shooting lasers and you have to jump from platform to platform. And then, like, you know, the near miss of the laser will just send you spinning. You're like, ah! Like I said, there's a lot of crazy ass, there's a lot of crazy set pieces. And I enjoyed them. Another, like, neat mechanic is they have the investigation mechanic, but they have to do the investigation mechanic where you get a fucking AR overlay so, like, things aren't glaringly missed. Which I appreciate it. Because, as I said, Lucky isn't dumb. He can be a bit clever at times, but once in a while, something just goes completely over his fucking head and he misses it. So, basically what you get is the, IRIS system, which is an acronym. It's like image, what was it?
I'm gonna assume recognition?
Like image recognition something investigation system, or something like that. And it's actually pretty cool. As I said, like, you can use it to, like, you know, seize people's, information. You can use it to, like, it highlights, like, items in the world that you can pick up. It can, one of the interesting things about it is that if you, like, open it up in combat and put it on a monster that you have registered in your database, it'll show its remaining health.
Neato. Everybody loves, especially in punch-em-up games like this, everybody loves the health bars.
Yeah. But you have to take a picture of it. Which is another item you get. And the funny thing is you have to do this mid-combat.
I was about to say, is this like trying to take selfies with Ganondorf in Wind Waker kind of shit?
Yeah, like, it's kind of like that. Yeah, so basically you have to whip out the camera, and then it doesn't have to be like 100% on, but because you'll know when the picture is good, because it'll, like, if you don't have the monster already, it'll be a yellow box with a question, like 4 question marks on it. You have to snap it at that moment. So it's like literally like, it's also kind of, so it's like whip out the camera. You have to, like, you know, like, throw around your fucking camera, get in there, snap it, then, you know.
Oh, so it's like taking pictures in Breath of the Wild where you have to, like, get that focus just right, and it's like,
yeah.
Oh, this is the thing, you don't have it.
Yeah. But it's like, it's not too hard, but, like, once in a while, like, I'm trying to do it while a fucking, like, wolf, like, looking creature is running down on me. I'm all like, But, yeah, so the iris is neat. The investigations aren't complicated. It's like usually, cause you have what is a quote unquote a police notebook. Basically, as you talk to people and do investigations, you'll gain keywords that were saved in your notebook. And usually later, like at the end of the investigation, you'll be talking to somebody and it's all like, they'll ask you questions and you have to highlight the keyword. But it doesn't really matter if you get it right or wrong, because they'll be like, no, that was clearly wrong. This is what it's supposed to be. And you're like, why are you fucking asking me?
Because I want to make you feel smart. By the way, this is completely unrelated. This reminds me of something. For some reason, because I think the audience has been talking about it, I felt like listening back to some of our old APs. So I listened to Scythian Front Part 1, and I'm like, that's cool. The audio's not as shitty. Like, there's a clear difference between it and Alcobalon, but it's like, it's not as shitty as I thought it would be. Mm-hmm. But this is hilarious, because you go to the end, and then I was like, I started the next one, but I'm like, I don't want to watch it all, because it's like 4 hours. Mm-hmm. But I don't know what was wrong with you. You were like half awake, and you were like, Martha, I have an important question. What are we doing here? And, you know, everybody bust out laughing, and I'm like, in character, you wrote this in a notebook. Would you like to check what's in your notebook? I can tell you what you wrote down in character. And you were like, yes, please tell me. And then you're just talking about the police journal just made me think of that, like, yeah, that's a good mechanic. So your character wrote it down, so you don't have to.
Yeah. So, like, as I said, it doesn't really mean, but it does give you points for your game rating. Because this game has several difficulties. One is I can't remember what the fuck they call it. I guess I want to say it's casual mode. Then where you're not graded and things are super easy. Because there was that story about that reviewer who got pissed off that there wasn't a rating system, and then it came out that he was just playing on the super easiest mode.
Right. He forgot to mention that he was in super easy, and there's a very obvious warning that was, hey, you don't get scored for this.
Yeah. So I played the first game. The first file is done in the super easy mode because that makes sense. So you don't get a rating, but you can always go back and do it in the standard mode. Mm-hmm. Because as I said, it's all about that replayability. Because there's things. So I played it in Platinum Standard, and definitely starting off, I was getting C's and D's. But as the game gone on, I started moving up to
Gesundheit.
So I started getting A's, S pluses. Not in all of them, but in some of them. And as I said, a Platinum Standard is definitely standard. It's not too difficult. It's not too hard. Although I got my ass if it wasn't for the fact that the game in game, you get something you get continues, which are called AED charges. It's basically the defibrillator system. Mm-hmm. And as you upgrade your Legatus, which is basically the thing that connects you to your Legion, you get additional AED charges.
So this is very Roman, I take it. You have the Legatus that connects to the dude. Yeah, okay. I'll think about this next month. Well, yeah. Okay, so, I can pick it up this month. I'm not broke or anything. I'm at that point where I'm like, I don't know if I want to take more money on my bank account.
Yeah, so the the Legatus, Legionare, yeah. So where was I saying? So basically, as you upgrade the Legatus, you get additional AED charges. I think I went through I had 4 or 5 by the end of the game, and the final boss still took me through 3 of them. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a good solid difficulty.
Yeah.
Oh. What else was I gonna
that
say?
made me want to look up because I was like, what is the rating system in Bayonetta? And it was medals. And yes, you just reminded me oh man, I sucked at that game when I first played because it's it goes each section, has its own, and it gives you the medals. So it's stone, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, pure platinum. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember when I first started playing that game and I sucked so hard that I would get stone ratings. And I'm like, damn. Yeah. And then I got good and I got pure platinums, motherfuckers.
Well, it's useful in this game it tells you how many points you get for doing things, how long you take, affects your rating. If you use only if you use only one, if you use different weapons, if you use different
That's a thing that I think games have gotten slightly better at is breaking that down, cuz if I remember rightly, the original Bayonetta doesn't tell you any of that shit. It's just okay, you did good or you did shitty. And if you're playing the game, you can probably tell how you did shitty, but it's sometimes it's hard to tell what was the difference between platinum and pure platinum there.
Yeah. And then, the game will further break it down, because if you go into the help, it'll actually tell you how do you achieve each of those, scores.
Nice.
2 that stick out to me, Rand, there's bad ones, and then there's good ones. Because there's one called, this is the one I was getting a lot in the beginning, called, Sloppy Strikes and Faulty Footwork. Sloppy Strikes you get from swinging at nothing, if you do it too much.
Interesting.
Faulty Footwork, I think, is if you dodge. It has to result with dodging. If you dodge too much or you dodge not enough.
So is Astral Chain like Bayonetta, where you get rewarded for perfect dodges?
Oh yeah, if you do a perfect dodge, you can go straight into a combo counter. And if you do it with Legion, you can actually do a special Legion sync attack.
Neato.
As I said, the combat's complicated, especially when you start out, because, literally, you control your character, then you hold, the left, trigger button, and then you are controlling your Legatus. Now, you can't make your Legatus attack, but you can do things with the chain. If you wrap your chain around an enemy, it'll bind it. And if you have the, special upgrade, after you bind it, you can go straight into a combo attack with you and your Legion. You can also use the chain to, because enemies will, what's the word I want? Telegraph their, flying charging attack. If you get the chain, if you put yourself on one end and the Legion on the other side of that, and so the chain's, crossing over that, you will literally catch the charge and slingshot the enemy back, stunning it. So, there's sometimes in mid-combat, you have to suddenly take control of your Legionary to do, move it around. And that means, like, you know, you have to, like, keep it on, like, not to mention that your Legion has its own health and attacks and stuff. The thing attacks, automatically, thankfully. But you can also, you know, pull it back to you, throw it out again, and so it does damage on attacks, or make it focus. And then, like, after that, you can have the Legion pull you to the enemy so you can attack it. It's like, it's a lot, it's very complicated, but it's something that, like, after you, like, played it for several hours, you're like, alright, this...
Yeah, you start to get the feel for that kind of stuff. So you said it has the, you know, the, like, idiosyncratic type of difficulty levels, because that was the thing I was like, oh yeah, Bayonetta had normal last names for everything except the last one, which was Nonstop Infinite Climax. I actually beat the game on that difficulty. I really liked Bayonetta, kids.
I don't know how, like, because they have the casuals, platinum, standard, and then I know they had another one on top.
They have a high level, which is something dumb and crazy. I'm sure.
I know it has the word platinum in it, but that's what. Maybe it's pure platinum. Actually, hang on, let me look it up real quick.
Ultra platinum.
Astral Chain difficulty level. Difficult settings guide. Maybe this will.
Isn't Star Platinum a JoJo thing?
Okay. Yes, that is the name of the fucking main character from the third arc. Alright, okay, here it is. So there's Unchained, which is super casual, which is advantageous, standard platinum, and ultimate platinum.
Ultimate platinum. That sounds like somebody's special fucking attack. God, I love Platinum Gaming Studio.
Yes, I mean, do you know fucking Hideki Kamiya? This man is...
Yeah, he's great.
He's great.
Like I said, I was looking at the Wikipedia article for Bayonetta, and there was, like, for instance, he called the auto mode, mommy mode in Bayonetta, and also, this is a commentary that, like you said, with the rating system. So, in regards to Bayonetta, Kamiya said that he expected players to first complete the game in 10 to 12 hours, but thanks to its rating system and the high scores, they would come back for replay value, which is 100% true.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna tell you, like, Astral Chain has a good amount of replay value. Like as I said, you can go back to all the files and replay them, and you want to, because you don't unlock all 5 of the legions, like, from the get-go. You get them as story progresses, but there's still things that the legions can do in earlier chapters. Like, cause each legion has, like, its own special ability, like, well, I won't claim, but each of them have their own special ability, and as I said, there's opportunities to use them all all throughout the game. So, what was I talking about? Combat, sync attacks. It's just good, plain fun. Like, honestly, I'm gonna tell you right now though, my favorite fucking attack in the game, is like you can do it with all your legions. It just looks slightly different depending on the one. But basically, what you do is you grab your chain and you start swinging your legion around. I'm just like, this is fucking amazing. And it has some fighting game style. You literally have to spin the left control stick and then tap the legion call button, and you will basically just like spinning it. And it's a sync attack, so basically if you keep timing your legion button, you'll just keep swinging it around. I'm just like, this is amazing. It's like, there's a lot of fun that he had with the game. But
sounds great. So, like I said, I think your description has just, like, I was already interested in it because it's a platinum game, so I'm like, yeah, I'm into that. That seems cool. But now you talking about it, like, okay, this will hop up my priority list a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's
not
like,
too much though, because I own Borderlands 3 and I still have not opened it once.
Really?
No, I'm committed to, like, no, I need to keep working on Three Houses, at least through Blue Lions, through Azure Moon. Like, I'm like, I can't relax too much on it if I'm playing games. Which hasn't worked out for other stuff, which we might have time to talk about, I don't know, because we're at about an hour 45 right now, and we haven't talked about Three Houses at all, and we have several things to discuss, but maybe we'll get into it, or maybe we won't. Maybe I'll just toss it in as, like, a recommendation at the end, which is what we do, but yeah.
Okay.
Though, that's funny, because we were talking about storage size earlier. I was talking about, because one of the things we're going to talk about with Three Houses is they have announced what will be in the upcoming DLC waves. So I figured we could talk about all that. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna be buying DLC on the Switch. I need to figure out a storage card. And I think I decided that I'm gonna splurge a little bit, and I'm gonna go for the 128. I was like, 64 is pretty cheap, but just to be safe, I might actually download games, not just DLC and stuff. I'll go for it's not that much different to get a 128 from SanDisk or whatever on Amazon. But while I was looking at that, Amazon recommended to me, and they're like, hey, you might also want to check out this, and it's a fucking 1 terabyte micro SD. It cost about $430, but I was like, holy shit, that's a terabyte in the size of my thumbnail.
Yeah,
like,
miniaturization progresses all the fucking time.
Yeah, that's like, god damn, that's nuts. I remember when it was a big deal, I spent like $60 on a terabyte external, which is about the size of a deck of cards, and I'm like, god damn, I don't need that much space on a Switch, I don't think, but holy shit. I'm also not going to pay $400 for it, that's more expensive than the Switch is. But maybe in a couple of years, it'll be like $50, and then that'll be great, because goddamn, storage is a thing, kids. Like, you'd think, oh, storage is going up all the time. That'll be great. I can store everything forever. No, that means people keep making shit bigger. I still watch, if I download a video, I still choose to download it in like 720, because I'm like, I don't want that 1080 shit on my hard drive. It's too huge. But okay, with Three Houses, do you want to talk about DLC first, or do you want to talk about Azure Moon stuff first?
Let's talk about DLC first.
Okay, so I'm looking at the article, so I shall read this out.
Okay.
So Wave 2 released recently, and we talked about it. You can get glasses and what is called quote-unquote loungewear, but it's a gym uniform. Don't kid me, Nintendo. I know what you're doing. It's an anime-ass sports jersey. But so, Wave 3 will have 2 sections. It'll have a free update and a paid update. So, the free thing is phenomenal, because new playable unit, Jiritsa, certain routes only, but I'm like, holy shit, yes, thank you. It will have new supports, new activities, and new online features, so I'm assuming that's all of Jiritsa's supports. This is great, because just the other day, I did Mercedes and Casper's Paralog, which confirms some things about the Death Knight, but not others. And I'm like, before I go any further, this is a general... I have found a slight nitpick with Three Houses, and that's how much detail is in some of these fucking supports, versus, like, Paralogs and stuff. So... for a long time, you've been telling me, hey, there's a big fucking lore bomb in Seteth Flan A. And I'm like, okay, I'll get there eventually. It took me a while to get Seteth and work on them. I hit Flan A with Byleth first, and I was very miffed, because Flan basically, this is not a spoiler, but Flan is basically like, well, it might be a spoiler, but she's like, yo, Professor, you're special. I'm kind of special too, guess? Why don't we be special friends together? Yay, special high five. And I'm like, Flynn, you told me nothing. I learned nothing from this. What the fuck? And then, it's very contrived in Seteth Flan A, but yes, there is a big fucking lore deal that is not explained at all. They just casually drop it in the conversation because it's a thing, and I'm like, what the fuck, Fire Emblem? What are you doing? Why? Why even mention it if you're not going to explain the shit to me?
This is why I said, you need to, like, it's like, fuck. Like, well, to be fair, we haven't gone through the church.
True. Like, we haven't gotten through the routes that supposedly cover the deepest lore. So it's like, alright, fine, whatever.
But still, but as someone who has not gone through that, I was all like, what the fuck?
It's a big what the fuck moment. Like, I mean, like you said, Linhart and some of the others lean into it pretty hard, but you're like Linhart and Flan, but it's like, but still, goddamn, like, that's a big deal that doesn't necessarily come out of nowhere, but it's like, why wouldn't you explain that to me? I have another thing. Have you gotten Marianne before, Lucky?
Excuse me?
Have you gotten Marianne before?
Not before, no. I just got her. Like, I'm just now dealing with her with,
So, she has a paralog. I will not spoil it, but she has that same problem. You get to her A with your personal support and some other character's individual supports. She doesn't explain what her fucking problem is at all. Like, but you do her paralog, which I think you have to get her support up to do, but you do that, then it explains the whole thing, and also she gets her relic weapon, which is a sword, by the way, Lucky, just so you know. I know, she has a hidden potential in lances, but her relic weapon is a sword.
To be fair, it's like, I could just give her a fucking, I don't know.
Well, yeah, there's lots of fun stuff. But
Like, real talk, I don't use relics weapons a lot unless it's like a final fucking boss. It's the final boss, because repairing them's a fucking pain.
yeah, 20 uses is too few, but okay, whatever. We'll see if they fix that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm like, it's really weird how the game chooses to break up some of these convos where it's like, all right, you are deepest friends with this person. Here is an obvious cut where if Marianne was gay, you could get married at the end of this, but she's not, so we're just going to be good friends.
Good.
And I don't know who she's going to end up with because she has a couple of interesting A+. But anyway. But it's like, okay, it's cool that we're friends and you have worked past your issues. You never explain to me what your issues are. And sometimes I'm like, I guess this is just because you only have, like, 3 conversations ever? Because you personally don't have, like, pluses with anybody. But still, it's like, man, some of these support conversations are like, you could have written another couple pages of dialogue to your kids.
Well, I guess, like, what Three Houses is mostly trying to go for is, it's like lore, and it's a puzzle. Everything's a giant fucking puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is how, like, the overarching story works. That's all, like, you're only gonna see things from particular sides, and it's up to you to put all those pieces together and understand what the fuck is actually happening. And you have to do this over several playthroughs.
Mm-hmm. And some of it's just, that's just how Fire Emblem is. Like, oh hey, I won't say who, but it's like, oh hey, here's a character who's like 1,000 years old, knows everything, because they were there at the beginning. I'm like, yeah, that's Fire Emblem. Like, which Fire Emblem game did I just reference? All of them. So yeah, you have those things, and it's like, okay, I guess that's just how it is. That was another thing, where it's like, I really wish I could understand the metaphysics of this setting better, because crests are a big deal, right? They do stuff. They let you use relic weapons, but also, like, Dimitri, for instance, says that that's probably the source of his freakish strength, because boy howdy is he's freakishly strong. Holy shit. The dude punches horses. I saw him crush a man's face with his bare hand. Like, and not even just knock out. That dude's fucking dead. He's dead now. Dimitri killed him.
Now you know why fucking Felix calls him the boar.
Yeah. It's really funny, because Felix was like, I knew this was gonna happen. Then the time skip comes in, he's like, hey, Professor, Dimitri's really off the rails. Are you gonna put him back on rails? And I'm like, I don't know, Felix, are you gonna put him back on rails by not being an asshole? The answer is no. Felix doesn't know how not to be an asshole, but he can be a lovable asshole sometimes.
Oh no, he's totally not an asshole with a net.
Interesting, okay. I don't think I've gotten there deep. I tried to, because I didn't get to do it in my Black Eagles, I'm trying very hard to set up Dorothea and Felix, because they're both kind of lovable assholes together, and it's great. Their A+ is hilarious. And also, I'm really trying to make sure Felix doesn't cockblock Sylvain and Ingrid. I'm like, no, don't do that.
No, do you know who cockblocked my Ingrid Sylvain? Motherfucking Ash. I was like, boy!
Oh, Ash is going to be a complicated one, but I don't know how far I am from the end, but I am carefully watching the roster to see who likes who, and see which of the pairings I like are going to go finished. Because,
like, I have decided, like, if I have a particular pairing, I'm going to make sure that every other fucking support only stops at fucking B.
Yeah, once I have witnessed all the supports, because you can access the support log from the main menu. Once I've unlocked them all, like when I said, do my masterclass run, I'm not going to fuck around with, like, getting people to high levels just for the, like, extra hit or whatever when they're touching or something. I'm just gonna keep it at B for the sake of mechanics.
And fun fact, that made me think about, like, man, Professor, you have more sway over these kids' futures than you like to admit.
Yeah. But yeah, so, like, I don't know. I'm really trying to get Catherine Shamir to work out. Even though both of them also have very powerful A's or A+ with other people. Cyril's my fucking wild card right now. Like, he grew up hot, and I'm like, I don't know who you're gonna end up with, kid. I think you're gonna make beautiful brown dragon children with Petra, but I'm not sure.
But,
it's complex, kids. But yeah, I'm like, man, supports, sometimes they're confusing.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see maybe if they do some stuff. Just so people don't yell at us, we should casually mention, it appears that after the last free update, that Nintendo decided to rephrase and re-record some of Bernadetta's dialogue.
Really?
Yes. Now her support conversation with you no longer says the full thing, like, I was made to be quiet and tied to a chair for hours. Now it's just like, they made me be quiet to be, like, a good housewife. I'm like, okay, that loses some of the punch, but I've heard that it's more true to the original Japanese, so I don't know.
Oh.
It's a thing. We should mention it so people don't yell at us.
Yeah.
Without, like, getting on a deep dive of the translation of this game, I don't have anything to say. Like, I know Nintendo's been really sensitive before with Fire Emblem translations, but if at the same time, if it really is more true to the Japanese, I also know the Japanese people are very picky about that.
Yeah, they probably didn't want to be straight out, child abuse.
Even though all fathers are terrible, it's Fire Emblem.
All fathers are terrible, and all mothers are gone.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's sort of one of the funny things about Azure Moon is Rhea goes missing in the time skip, even though it's weird. You get a quote unquote Rhea paralogue, at least in that route. Maybe in others, but
yeah, apparently some paralogs are linked to certain routes. I'm just like,
but apparently you find a letter. It might be locked to Blue Lions because what's his face Gilbert gives you the letter that she left you, which is like, yo, I left you a present. It's fucking useless to me because it's a relic shield that requires the crest of Saros. And I'm like
I don't fucking have that.
That's Edelgard's crest. She's literally not in this route. Now, luckily I'm on New Game Plus, so I can just give somebody that crest, but I'm like, I'm not going to use 2 item slots just so you can get a relic shield, kids.
Well, it's not like relic. It's like a silver relic.
Yeah, it's a silver tier, but it's I think it heals you a little bit, and it has a lot of resistance.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing that bugs me, like, the most. It's like, for all the things that they let you carry over to New Game Plus, is they don't let you carry, like, certain items.
Yeah, you can't get paralogged. Like I did, Linthart and Leonie have a paralogue, where you can get a relic weapon that doesn't require a crest stone. I'm guessing that's Bernadetta's lost relic, because it's from her saint, but she doesn't have a relic, so it's funny. But it's a bow called it's a silver tier, but it's a bow called the Inexhaustible, but it can be used by anybody. Yay!
See, this is the thing that, like, again, that bugs me. Like, I'm okay with, like, gold tier weapons and stuff, like, being, like, locked, but I feel like at least silver tier and special normal tier items should be brought the fuck over.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, make them like you can buy the crest stones back. Like, you can buy them in New Game Plus, because, like, it's a lot of work to get some of these shit sometime to be, like, not, like, hey, here's another thing, like, in my first playthrough, I don't know, I killed somebody in some map, and they dropped a rapier, and the rapier was my mainstay as Byleth the whole game. Because rapiers are really good. Never found a rapier in the second playthrough, and I have no idea where to get one. So it's Steel Sword and Levin Sword for me.
Yep, like, in my Azure Moon playthrough, I found the weapon called a Wu Dao and a fucking cursed sword, both of which Felix rocked, because...
Yeah, I have the cursed sword. You picked that up from kicking somebody's ass.
Yeah.
I think you can buy the Wu Dao at some point, but it might be very late game.
Yeah, so it's like, sometimes you get these late game items, I'm like, I literally could only use this for the final fucking battle. Sometimes even not, if, like, you have to, like, send it to the convoy for, like, whatever reason.
Yeah.
Or if, like, the wrong person got it, I'm just all like...
Yeah, there is a significant problem where I have found really rad weapons, or I have forged them, and I'm like, oh, the person I want to give this to can't use it, because that is a benefit of relic weapons, of most of them anyway, is they require no specialty because they're pseudo-cursed, and they'll kick the shit out of anybody who's not of the Creststone. But it's a little weird, but I think people in general have complaints about that, where it's like, they're a cool fluff piece, using them is weird. Like, this is the thing I was going to mention earlier about, like, Fire Emblem not explaining things about crests. Like, crests are important. What do they do? Like, the Crest of Flames is a big deal. It's a big symbol of something. What does it do besides give you pseudo-soul? Because the ability soul isn't in the game anymore. It's supposed to be really special. Like, the Flame Emperor also has the Crest of Flames, and some of those guys are like, you will be the fire that burns down the enemies and remakes the world. I'm like, okay, but how, though?
Clearly, it lets you have Talk no Jutsu.
Yeah, it just makes you super swole, I guess. But, like, and that's the thing, like, some crests, rad. Felix's crest of Fraldarius, one of the best crests in the game, because it can proc on regular attacks and combat arts, and sometimes it's just like, do more damage, motherfucker, and I'm like, yes. Other characters are not as cool. Though Bernadetta's crest is pretty good, where sometimes you can double attack with a weapon attack. But some characters are like, do extra damage on a combat art, maybe. I'm like, I don't use those half the time. Like, yeah, okay, maybe a sword guy with grounder if I don't have a bow, but also, hey, guess what? Swords and bows go together. I can make a guy who uses a sword and also carries a bow. Or I could just find a kid with a bow. I don't know. Like, maybe they're more serious with, like, much more strict runs where you don't have all the characters, or you're trying really hard to, like, these are the only units who have good growth, so I can literally only use them. But most of the time I feel like it's a bit of a waste.
Yeah. I told myself I'll probably, like, maybe, like, for my church run do hard, but I'm never gonna get off fucking casual. I'm just like...
Yeah, neither of us are gonna uncatch, just because I already have to go back in time when I lose a unit anyway half the time, just because I'm like, fuck, I wanted them to gain experience or do stuff.
Yeah.
Or I fucking lost and have to rewind time.
Well, like, because also the other thing is, if I fucking lose a unit in, like, Classic, I'm just gonna start the fucking battle over.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. That's like, I'm one of those people, when I played Fire Emblems before, I would save scum. I would save scum the whole damn map over again if I had to. Now, luckily, you don't have to do that, like, literally, because you can just Divine Pulse and just literally rewind time all the way back down the action list until you get to the start. But,
yeah,
like, I would do that anyway, so I'm like, I'll just put it on casual. This is just less stress for me.
Yeah.
But I don't think either of us is going to kick it up to maddening. That's for the hardcore Fire Emblem kids who are like, I have been playing Fire Emblem since I was born. I played it in the original Japanese. I'm like, okay, cool. You know what you're doing? You have fun. I'm glad there's a mode for you.
Yep.
I'm going to, like, maybe do hard once if I feel like it.
So, like, as I said, like, I've done, like, 2 and a third, I should say. 2 1/3 runs. Like, I feel like I can kick myself up to hard. Give myself a challenge.
Well, yeah, and also, you grinded super hard, so if you have enough renown, you can just be like, Byleth S plus everything. Fuck you. I have all the units and all the skills.
I just don't have all the items I want.
Yeah, maybe they'll fix that later, because I know they've added, I think it's to the DLC, but they've added maps and stuff. But before we get back into that, I want to take a quick break, because we're been like 2 hours.
Right.
So, we're going to pause the recording, you won't hear anything, but we're going to go stretch and stuff. I really need to drink this water bottle I brought. Okay, we're back. So, we were going to talk about the DLC. So that was the free stuff at Wave 3. Jiritsu's going to be playable, which will be cool. There will be new supports, new activities, and new online features. Don't know what those are, but they're things. Now, if you're paid up, there's a couple extra things. So there's a new playable unit, Anna, who is basically a long-standing Fire Emblem meme, but you already see her in-game. She's one of the shopkeepers in the marketplace, and she runs the mobile shop if you're, like, in a field and you go to marketplace. So, no idea what they're going to do with her, but I guess because it's how they do the thing, it's going to be just she'll be whatever unit she damn well pleases, I guess. But she's going to be a new playable unit. There's going to be new monastery facilities. Once again, more new online features. Don't know about any of that. It's phrased from the translation, because this was originally in Famitsu, as Anna and Chiritza dialogue, so I guess they'll only interact if you have the paid version, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
There's around 10 new quests. Don't know what that means. Like, in context, is that paralogs? Is that just randomly generated quest maps? Actually, no, it says quests, so that'll probably just be jobs around the town, so I don't even know, like, what that will mean. Just talking to people more? Or what? Will it be quest battles, like, that you do go out and do battles? We don't know. But here's the big deal.
I guess that means more battalions that I'm never going to fucking use.
Yeah, that's another thing. We were talking about stuff carrying over. All your battalions carry over, so I've got, like, multiple copies of super secret battalions that I did from Paralogs, and I'm like, I can't even use these because nobody can ever get their fucking authority back up. I should
this is one of the reasons
scrubs.
This is one of the reasons why I usually put authority on as one of their fucking end things they have to learn.
Yeah, that's fair. But, like, I can't be the only one who's like, oh, Freldaria soldiers, Felix should have this battalion, or, no,
I totally do. I totally
Bernadetta
do that.
should have this battalion. What do you mean your authority is only, like, D? That said, it's, ironically, my personal, because my authority is super high, because I'm Byleth, my personal battalion all through Azure Moon has been,
most series?
No, it was L's personal battalion after the time skip from last run.
The armored core.
Yeah, Supreme Armored Company.
See, that's something. See, that's what I appreciate. I appreciate that because I look back at that, I'm like, and I cry.
I carry these people. I carry the weight of my past runs with me.
And see, this is another reason why I want the items carryover, because I want to be. Because if there was to be a true golden ending, you know the way you would have to fucking proc it? my personal way, you have to have all 3 of the fucking birthday items from the fucking other runs.
Yeah, you have all the accessories. Also, I don't know, maybe if you reunite all the dumb relics from the dumb heroes, maybe something special would happen.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of them.
Like, so it's just like, I'm just like, give me golden ending and let me carry over.
Give me better details. But okay, so, the real shit. New activity, Sauna. Yes, that's right, Sauna DLC. They're finally gonna use it. People have already begun memeing, but yeah, there's gonna be a new activity in the sauna. There will be new costumes, maid, butler, and more. And there will be new maid and butler battalions. So you can continue the theme. Now, it might just be like Ninja Maid Rush, but it's gonna be on theme, which is gonna be great, and we're gonna get even more memes. Nintendo understands me perfectly. Is Atlas behind this? Because you know those motherfuckers are like, oh, let's sneak in some extra spicy costumes and Persona. So that's really rad. I'm glad that that's coming, and that's like, okay, I gotta buy the thing. But so Wave 4, which is paid only. There will be a side story, Abyss Mode. No idea on the details on that. But there will be new player characters, Juris, Balthazar, Constans, and Javi, direct translation. So there's going to be whole new characters who are playable. There will be new supports, obviously, because there's new characters. Mm-hmm. There will be new online features that nobody cares about. There will be more new hero relics. Yay. Probably for those assholes they're adding. Here's the big ones, though. New classes, finally. Please, for the love of God, Magic Flyer. Magic Flyer, please. You're making me waste all these kids who are good at magic and also flying. Because they can't do both at once. But Sylvain can be magic on a horse. And it's basically like, Felix can stab people and be magic, and Sylvain can be on a horse and be magic. Why can't Ingrid be on a Pegasus and also be magic? Why? It's sexist. How dare. But, so, new classes, new paralogs, also possibly for those characters, but you never know. New quests, new battalions, new gambits, so that means that maybe some of those, like, those maid and butler battalions just do old stuff, just they're maids and butlers. And new costumes for Byleth, male and female, and Sothis, which got everybody in our conversation kind of like, huh, interesting. So, like, is that just while she floats around in rooms and stuff, or what? We'll see. Because they don't explicitly mention, like, playable Sothis or Rhea. So, I don't know. Who knows? But there are also, that's another thing that at least this Fire Emblem does have, is there's loads and loads of guest characters, so. Yeah. Like, that was a thing that I found slightly annoying about Crimson Flower. I was like, okay, Gabe, you can't give me a hot Dragon Rider lady and not let me put her in the house and micromanage her shit and then kill her off screen. But the game needs bosses for you to fight in other routes, basically.
Yeah.
So, that's what happens. Though, luckily, I don't know. I don't know. I might have to beat up poor Fletch. Or Fletcher. Because her brother dies no matter what in either route, but, yeah. Like, in Crimson Flower, at least, you can kind of, like, pat her on the shoulder and be like, it's okay, kid, you'll do fine, we're gonna win. I don't know how that's gonna turn out in Azure Moon yet. Thanks, game. Yeah, who knows? 3 houses is just, crushing your soul. But yeah, so who knows, there might be some spoilers in there they're avoiding. I gotta admit, Abyss Mode... I need to drink that water. Abyss Mode doesn't sound like a golden ending. It says side story, but who knows? They might still integrate some stuff.
Like, honestly, I want to know, like, I do want to, if I could get some polling, I definitely want to know how many people actually genuinely want a golden ending.
I'm pretty sure plenty of people do, because that's at least with our community, our constant discussion has been lots of stuff like, man, I wish we could just get the characters to have some perspective, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is something we both learned real quick when we switched to Blue Lions, was like, oh, wow, Edelgard did not have any fucking perspective at all.
Yeah.
She was like, listen, I have been personally wronged by the church and by crests. I will demolish them. And I'm like, okay, you're cute, let's demolish the system. Viva la revolution. And then, because I have played Crimson Flower, when Dimitri is like, I must have my revenge. I am a man denied his revengeance, and I talk to ghost people.
Means only intensify.
where I just want to, because I've played Crimson Flare already, I want to just suplex him into that pile of rubble and you're being a dumb shit, okay? Like, I know you have been literally on your own and slowly going crazy for the last 5 years, but you were a dumbass before the time skip. Like, I brought this up. He has this whole fucking conversation about how Edelgard was his childhood friend and is his stepsister, and they met for like a year, and it was adorable, and she taught him how to dance and stuff, and then he's like, she seems different now. And he doesn't comment on, like, yeah, like, how her hair has suddenly gone bleach white and her eyes are different or something. No, he doesn't notice that at all, because he's a dumbass. That's okay, he's 17 at the time, so he's expected to be a dumbass, but still. And no, I haven't gotten far enough until we knock some fucking sense into him, but Punish Dimitri is an asshole, no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, I get that he's been through some psychological shit, but also, he's just real crappy about it. Like, all of his friends and his teachers and his advisors are like, hey, dude, maybe you should think about something other than revenge. He's like, no, fuck you. If you get in my way, I'll kill you. Which I want to say, because I'm like 5 levels higher than him, and also I'm Byleth. I want to be like, you want to fucking try, nerd?
As I said, my inability to headbutt and or suplex people, not being in game, distresses me, quite often.
Like, just if there was just a interaction option for slap. Just smack some sense into them. They can get less motivated out of it, but they really should be more motivated, because I'm sure a Byleth slap is on the level of a Bright slap.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that is a thing they did. I didn't see it in the list, but apparently it must be in, like, maybe it's in the free update for new activities. But apparently you will be able to pet the dog now. Yes. You'll be able to pet animals. At least dogs. Maybe also cats.
They say dogs, but there are like I'm pretty sure the cat to fucking dog ratio is like 4 to fucking 1.
Yeah. There's a lot of cats. There's also a lot of owls.
Yeah, they do.
And there's also there's horses in the stables. Can we pet horses? But yeah, so
I was like, I just have the mighty need to pet things, alright? I want to hang out with the cat meetings.
I feel a slight sneeze coming. I'll let you know if it resolves.
Righto.
Okay, I'm good. It passed.
Nice.
Had to pause there for a second. But, yeah. So, like, that's the thing. Like, you figure out some stuff that, like, okay, so Edelgard has no fucking perspective. And Dimitri has no fucking perspective. And Claude apparently has perspective because Golden Deer is all about the lore and stuff for some reason. I guess because Claude is the literal third wheel. Poor boy.
Well, as I said, like, I've gotten into my Golden Deer run. I haven't got the time skip. I've only gotten a few missions in. But still, even those few missions in, you realize something. Claude asks fucking questions.
I know you type that in, like, all caps in Discord, and I'm like, oh. Yeah. I'm like, holy because as having this conversation, I'm like, holy shit, that's a big difference from my last 2 house leaders.
Yeah, like, Claude puts in the time. He does research. He asks questions. He wonders why things are. And doesn't base it
that's great. I wonder why things are. I just can't say it. No wonder people like this kid so much.
But, Claude, like, on the other hand...
Well, yeah, go ahead, finish up your thoughts, because you're not very far.
Claude is also a man who's like, I'm all about collecting secrets and not giving them out.
So, would it be fair to say that you can expect that in Azure Moon and in Crimson Flower, Claude probably knows a lot more than he's letting on, he just doesn't fucking tell anybody? Yeah. Like an asshole?
Like the thing is like, I'm fine with, like, this is like his catchphrase, because he says it all the time. I'm fine with letting you know all my secrets, but you have to let me know all of yours.
That's fair. Nobody keeps him in the loop in the other 2 houses, so I could see why he's not helpful. But still, like, that is, considering the conversation I just had about Dimitri and about Edelgard, that is such a big flip that he actually asks fucking questions. Because that's Dimitri's problem. He doesn't ask any fucking questions. He's just like, revenge! You know, Edelgard is his white whale, and he's like, from hell's heart, I stab at thee. And I'm like, dude, you're perfectly fine. Like, you don't even need to go full revenge-o. Like, just calm down. Just calm down, kid.
He does calm down, and it becomes very sad at the end. I'm like,
I've heard some people talk about it. Like, I'm waiting for that turnaround, because that's, like we said, Dimitri very clearly has an arc where he starts out and you're kind of like, oh, Dimitri's okay. He's just trying to keep his shit together. Oh, he's really trying to keep his shit together because he's really fucking crazy. And now he's really fucking crazy all the time. And he's a huge ass, so maybe he gets better. But boy howdy, it's a long dip in that middle zone where he's just crazy.
Yeah, like once you actually beat Azure Moon, there will be a long fucking talk. I already fucking...
Yeah, probably. And then there'll be a longer fucking talk after Golden Deer, probably, because it'll actually answer our goddamn questions, I hope.
Or at least get us, like, mostly the way there.
Yeah.
So, well, do you have any more, Azure Moon thoughts?
So, not really. Mostly right now, because I don't know how far I'm in. I'm a couple missions in. I think I'm just about to the part where I can get Lorenz back. Because I recruited literally everybody before the time skip. I like to imagine that after I woke up from my 5-year nap, after you have this very, very symbolic, cutscene with Dimitri, which once again reinforces that you are Crystal Dragon Jesus, where you are in light and he is in shadow. And I'm like, wow, Fire Emblem. Not subtle. But I like to imagine that I just stood at the top of the monastery and was like, class is in session, bitch! And everybody ran over to me immediately. Like, they came back because they sensed that I was here. Though, it was funny, because the first map you do is, like, you meet Dimitri, and he's like, oh, you're a ghost. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm real. I'll fucking stab you to prove it. And he's like, oh shit, you're real. Hey, I'm gonna go fucking kick the shit out of some bandits with my bare hands. You wanna come? And you're like, okay, just to make sure you don't hurt yourself like a dumbass. And now halfway through that map, your friends all show up, led by Gilbert, and you're like, oh my god, the professor and the prince. Everything's rad. It's cool. You could not solo, but you could duo that entire map with just you and Dimitri. Because we've already talked about how Byleth is a beast, but as befitting most lords in a Fire Emblem game, Dimitri is a monster. Literally and figuratively. Like, he will crush people's shit. Though I gotta admit, I have some funny monster stories. It's not Death Knight's Scythe, but I gave Leonie the other scythe you can get, the Crescent Sickle.
Yeah,
I think you get from that map. I just gave that to her. It's also got a really high crit rate, and so she has just crit some very important guys in some matches, and I'm just like, whoa, girl. But yeah, so I assembled literally everybody except Lorenz because plot stuff. But you can get him back. And then there's one character who hasn't shown up yet, and without naming names, Lucky, does that guy come back?
Yes.
Okay. Good, because I need the armor skills.
I'm gonna tell you, I had a fucking sad my first time.
Oh no, I was like, oh. Not only did I waste all that time teaching that kid, but also I'm like, I'm sad. He was the bestest.
He was the best.
Also, I bet
he is the
that
bestest.
Character, to completely spoil who it is if people are playing the route, but they probably already know then.
Yeah.
But also, that guy could probably slap Dimitri out of his shit. But
well, it's not. Actually, I would say about that does actually bring Dimitri out of it a little bit. But the final bit is that brings him out is kind of what it's full circle. I want to say is what snaps him out of it.
Yeah, that's I wonder if they chose to give him an eye patch just to visually reflect how narrow his worldview is in the time skip. Like, the man is a laser focus. Like, everybody is like, dude, my prince, no, wait, you're the king, you're an adult, you're the fucking king now. Hey, the Empire, or the traitors amongst us who have joined the Empire have taken over the capital, and there's like fucking riots and shit. You need to liberate your people. He's like, no, I want revenge. Like, and even though you can try and derail the course of things, like, it hasn't kicked in yet if you can actually if those choices actually matter. Like, because that is the thing in some Fire Emblems, sometimes you can do different maps at different stages, but so far that hasn't happened in Three Houses in Azure Moon. So I don't know if that's just me protesting it, like, hey, Dimitri, maybe you should get your shit together. But anyway, so you miss most people. It's really interesting though to see different courses. Like Leticia, on the one hand, this really comes out in this arc. She really doesn't like the Empire because of some stuff that happened. That if you understand her, you understand why that is. At the same time, she's really whole hog in on Edelgard if you do Crimson Flower because of Edelgard things. So it's really interesting to see these characters from multiple angles. which is what the game's really good at, is the multiple angles. But like we said, some of these characters just don't ask fucking questions, and I wish they would.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's see. Are there any other real... Oh, there is one thing. The thing that annoys me most about Dimitri is not that he won't do supports and that he is a huge asshole. He won't come to class. He won't show up to class and I can't level his skills. And I'm like, you asshole. I really want to get you to A, sword and lance already, but you won't come to class, which means I have to do it the slow-ass way. And yes, that bothers me. He's been at like B plus forever, and I'm like, I really want you to get you to like A so you can do some cool shit with some cool stuff. But you fucking won't, nerd. What kind of loser won't show up to class?
Azure Moon is definitely longer than
Yeah, it's got more drawn out character arc.
Yeah.
I think that's because of stuff which we've talked about is very obvious, but hey, spoilers. Edelgard's the Flame Emperor.
Yeah.
So because of that, I think that you get more, basically you get more of her and her motivations in the front half of the game anyway, that like, once you make the decision and you figure out shit and Edelgard lets you in on the whole loop, like, you don't have to do any further development with her. It's like, when you wake up from the time skip, it's like, well, I've been trying to do what we set out to do, Professor. I've been trying to do the thing while you've been asleep. So I'm gonna keep going. And it's like, okay, well, I guess we're gonna keep going. Let's see. Is Rhea still mad? Yes. Big yes. And now Dimitri is crazy for some reason. And obviously I get that now, because I'm playing Azure Moon, but still, it's like, that's the thing. Like, they could have bridged that a little better, but in Crimson Flower, like, and again, part of that is just like we said, Edelgard doesn't like to talk about shit.
Nope.
Like, she is very reluctant to unpack her baggage, and only does it in select amounts in certain ways. Now, it's very good because it makes her very sympathetic, and it, like, really makes you understand her character. Like, if I hadn't done that, if I hadn't done Crimson Flower first, I might be like some of those people on the internet and think she's just an asshole. And she is a little bit, but she also has her reasons. So it's like, she doesn't really want to talk about the stuff with Dimitri, so you don't really understand why he's quite so mad. Because it's like I said, like, when Dimitri said, oh yeah, my stepmother is Edelgard's birth mom, just FYI, I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Like, you know, I went all the way to S with this chick, and I never knew that. Like, now obviously, I think I understand the reason for it. We talked about it at the time, because when if you do the Goddess Tower scene with Edelgard, she talks about how her dad and her mom met in there, and it was a love match. So I'm sure she doesn't want to talk about her mom marrying the King of Fargus and stuff.
Nope.
Because that's not cool, and I'm sure... Also, that was part of her uncle's machinations and stuff, and he's kind of an asshole, who I still didn't get to punch yet. I'll get him all. I'll get him back for you, Dad. It's like Kill la Kill. I gotta find out how to kill my dad. Only I know who they are. I just have to get them all. That does remind me. Have you ever seen... You've played the game a little bit longer than have you ever seen the Anthem anywhere? The Anthem? Or is it only on Kronya?
No, I haven't seen it anywhere else. No.
Damn it, game. I don't know if it does anything special, but it looks cool, and I'm like, can I get that? Can I get that shit?
Well, if Jaritza is gonna show up, I'm pretty sure the fucking Scythe of Sariel is gonna show up too.
Well, you can get that anyway.
The what?
You can get that anyway, but you might have to do the special condition in Casper and Mercedes Paralog. Which is Casper has to win that fight. Which is hard, but I did it. So, I've got that Scythe now. It's cool.
Oh, so, I didn't know I could get it. I didn't know I could get it that in a special way.
Yes. Basically, I think that's the only way you can get it, is because the Paralog warns you, the win conditions are rout every enemy but the Death Knight. And it's like, so the Death Knight won't fight you unless you fight first, but it's like, the tooltip is like, but Caspar's really fired up. But if he fights, you better make sure he wins, because obviously if Caspar falls, the round is over and you gotta reset time. But
oh, so that's the special condition. Okay. I get it.
Yes, if you do defeat the Death Knight with Caspar, which, like I said, I had to do a little bit of setup on, but I managed it. I had to go back in time a couple times, but I did it. When you do the final scene where he fucks off into the woods because he's not really dead, he gives Mercedes her relic, which is just a necklace, which I thought was funny. He gives you just a relic item, and I'm like, okay, cool. But then he turns to Caspar and is like, hey, yo, you can use this, and he just tosses him the scythe, and I'm like, no, he can't use that! That is a lance, sir.
If it's not a relic weapon, I might put that on fucking Byleth then next time.
It's not. It's like the other. It's like the Gridvarius and the Hot Claire and the Mercurius and all that other shit. Like the rusted weapons you can upgrade to. It's a. Mm-hmm. It requires I think a B plus or A lances, but it's just a regular S lance, and it's got a very high crit. And scythes have their own animations, because there's a couple different ones you can get. But they're not really their own. I think they're axe animations, but they're different from other spears, at least. So yeah, that's cool. There's extra stuff. But yes, you're right. If Juritzia is playable, there's probably going to be an easier way to get it. I'm very, very curious how that's going to work out in Roots. Because on the one hand, I bet I know where. Because, hey, guess what? You lose all those assholes in Crimson Flower. So it's going to be like... Because I asked at the time, I'm like, hey, the Death Knight's on my side, right? Can't he just join my team and give me Dark Seals?
No, he just fucks off to another front.
Yeah, he fucks up to somewhere else and never shows up again. So I'm assuming that Nintendo is going to rework it so he shows back up as quote-unquote Juritzia and joins your squad.
Well, yeah, because Crimson Flower,
possibly
you
can
lose
recruit him earlier, like you can recruit other professors, and he only stays if you're doing those routes.
Yeah.
Kind of like the reverse of how Catherine and Cyril work.
He would fuck off after the fucking kidnapping incident, regardless.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, his support. They have to give him a support with Manuela, please.
That'd be amazing.
Just because, yes, that would be phenomenal.
I would totally hook them up. I was like, how'd you guys meet? He stabbed me.
And I won't let him forget about it. And it's like, my soul is dead inside. God, the Death Knight is so extra. Like, I still don't get why he is such an asshole to Mercedes. Because she's literally only a year older than him. So, but he's like, well, again, if we actually get a support, by my hand, my soul is already dead. And Caspar's like, yeah, whatever, asshole. Like, I love that it's between, like, the interaction triangle is Mercedes, Death Knight, and Caspar. It's so perfect. God bless you, Nintendo. Because it's just like, Caspar bounces off the Death Knight perfectly.
Like, honestly, Caspar is, one of my favorite characters.
There are a lot of really good boy characters, yes.
Mm-hmm. Caspar is a good boy. Raphael is a okay boy, but he's still a solid boy. Ash is a good soft boy.
Ash is a really good... Lynn's kind of an asshole about it, but he's really good deep down. Like, because I've been working through supports, I just did him and Dorothea, I think it's B, earlier, where he's just like, don't listen to those assholes, they're nobody. Like, only you can control your life, and she's just like, okay, Linhart, that's very strange that you said that, and also, that doesn't play to my baggage, but that's nice, I guess? And I'm like, that is nice, he is a good boy.
He's also, but he's just kind of a good boy that has very, very little empathy.
Yeah, he has no filter. He's just like, whatever, my dude.
I'm gonna say what I want. Catherine, give me the sword. Catherine's like, what? No! Give me the sword.
I haven't worked all the way through that one yet, but they have an A+, I really want to see. I want to go the distance there. It's a little bit of a shame, cause, now, I don't want to say this like, it's not understandable. Shamir is very hot. She's great. She has a lot of A+, though. And I'm just like, wow, this is a fucking minefield.
Somehow I was able to get their ending, and, you want me to spoil it for a bit?
I mean, you can. They are very gay.
Yeah, but it's not explicit in the ending.
Oh,
they do fuck off together, though.
Well, yeah, that's what Caspar and Linhart do. They go be bros, and they write a book about it. I'm like, gay, but in the good way. But, oh my god, they're like, is it
romance.
Their B? I think it's their B, where they're just standing on the fucking pier, and they're like, so, you want to talk about stuff? Nah. Okay, but actually I want to talk about stuff. Like, I don't know how, because Catherine and Shamir are some of the hard-assest ladies in Three Houses. I think it's their B, but Catherine and Ash's B is like, Ash is like, I'm still not cool that you killed my adoptive dad and brother, and Catherine's like, so fucking fight me, nerd! And they do. And they get into a dust-up, and she's like, okay. anytime you feel mad at me, fucking come at me. Because, like, maybe I feel bad about my life choices too, but if I regret them all the time, I won't get anywhere. So, it's like...
Well, Catherine also has extra layer, like, with Lord Leonardo and Ash.
Well, yeah, she has the double layer because, like, also Leonardo's kid was her BFF, but it was like, oh, but fuck, he has to die, right? Because that's what the church says, so I can't, does not compute.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's what she says at the end of their B. It's just like, listen, it's okay, Ash, that you're maybe not okay with me, because I'm maybe not okay with me yet.
Yeah.
So we'll just keep working on it, and hopefully everything turns out for the better, because if not, people died for no reason, which sucks. I really also want to... Okay, I'm a little annoyed that Dimitri can't do supports yet, because he has A's and A pluses with some people that I really want to work through. Fuck, I don't think I ever got him to B plus with Ingrid before the time skip. Because their B is him, like, saying some shit, and Ingrid getting mad about it. And then I assume the B plus is going to be, like, them coming back and being like, yo, I'm sorry about the thing. We were both right, and we were both wrong, because that's how we are.
Like, right now, my, people who, still need to get suplexed into a pile of horse shit is Leon's and Leonie right now. Like, I was talking about
Lauren's being gone in my run is kind of putting a cramp in that. I'm gonna set him up with Leonie for maximum irony, because I think they have a high level.
They do. I'm doing it too.
Oh, I'm making yes, because they're perfect for each other. Because Leonie is nice, she's sweet and down to earth.
For everyone except you.
Personally, yes, she's a huge bitch to you because
you don't treat your dad like fucking like you don't treat your dad like motherfucking Jesus.
Or B? It's one of her one of her earlier ones where she's like, "Yo, let me tell you my backstory, Professor."
It must be her C, because her C is when you basically meet her in training and she like decides to train just as long as you did, then longer, and it's like, all right, I won the competition. You're like, it's not a competition. Leon's like, yes, it is, and runs off.
Okay, so it's her B where she explains herself, where she's like, yo, Professor, the deep core of my personal conflict is when I was a tiny baby child, I lived in a poor village that was attacked by bandits and shit, and there was this badass dude. Pro tip, he was your dad. And he was really cool and taught me about shooting people and fishing and life and stuff. And I was his baby, and now you're his real baby, but he never talked about you. What the fuck is your problem? And I'm just like, I don't know, my dad never talked about you. What the fuck is your problem? Because, listen, we talked about how dads are not great in Three Houses. Your dad's okay.
He's solid enough.
He could be better, though.
I mean, he raised you.
he just did all right, but he also could have been better.
He kept you in little seclusion. Kept you from knowing the outside world.
He was also cock-blocked by the plot. Like, he was trying to work up to telling you the shit, but then he was literally delayed by the plot and then literally stabbed before he could tell you. But luckily, he set that up in I think it's in the very, very first month where he's like, yo, if anything happens to me, search this room just in case. And I'm like,
isn't there a term for when the plot demands someone to die even though you actually have the means to save them?
There's a couple different terms. Usually, the phrase sacrificial lamb or sacrificial lion, in Geralt's case, would be the trope name, where it's like, this is a character who should be a badass, but he dies because it's way more tragic that you or himself should be able to save him.
Yeah.
Heck, literally, you go back in time to save his ass, but then, what's-his-face, Solon, plot blocks you with time shit.
And you're just like, excuse me.
And I'm just like, eh? And then Sothis is like, oh, you rewound time once, it doesn't work again. I'm like, bitch, do you know how many divine pulses I have saved up? That said, who knows? We might have Groundhog Day that a few times, and Nintendo just saved us the effort by not showing it.
Yeah.
That said, you really do wipe the smug smile off that face when you go Super Saiyan and literally cut your way out of time. And you're like, oh, you thought I was lost in time-space? Fuck you.
What is time? What is even space? Nothing to me.
What does Sothis say? Both sides of time will be open to you and you alone. I'm like, fuck yeah, they are. But yeah, so he was trying real hard to be cool to you and like also not blow your cover because he knew the moment Ray roped you in, he was like, oh shit, Ray's gonna do weird shit to my kid again. That's why I left.
Oh no, Ray's gotta auto mama her. Fuck.
But also like these knights are all my friends and stuff, so I can't be mad at them. Shit. But yeah, so Leonie's a bit of a bitch to you, but she's nice with other people. Like, I think she only has like a B with Marianne, but they get along pretty well.
Yeah, no,
like,
she gets along with like everyone. Like she's thrifty and like she reuses things. She doesn't.
Yeah,
have
she's
any
down
problem.
to earth is her thing. Is like because she's practical. That's how her paralogue with Linhardt starts, where she's like, "Oh, I just patched up my bag," and Linhardt's like, "Yo, girl, your bag is more patches than bags now," and he's just like, "Okay, well, maybe I'm not made of money, Linhardt," and he's like, "Yeah, whatever. Hey, I heard about a relic weapon that any asshole can use," and she's like, "Sign me the fuck up."
To switch back over to Linhardt, that's his great thing is he'll help people. He just doesn't want to actually do the helping bit.
No, he doesn't want to do the work, but he will. Because it's like, what's this with Petra? He's talking about her spear work, and he's like, "Oh, I've never done it myself, but it's just fucking physics." And she's like, "Oh shit, spears."
Also with Petra, it's all like, why don't you smoke it? There's like a whole bunch of fucking, trash over there. And later it's like, oops, I didn't know that we shouldn't have done that. Let me help with that since it's partly my fault.
Mm-hmm.
Solid probe. Just
Lorenz is a little full of himself, but we'll slap him out of that.
Yeah.
Other number one high on my list of slaps is Hilda, because Hilda's core character conflict is I'm lazy. I don't want to do anything. I'm going to bamboozle everybody doing the work for me. Poor fucking Ferdinand. That poor kid. He's got a C+ with Hilda. Like, she fucking bamboozled him twice, and he's like, "Son of a bitch, she did it. She got me again. Fuck."
And then what's crazy is that she's super fucking strong.
Oh yeah, Hilda comes from. She literally is the girl Sylvain. Yeah. Like, not only does she have the reverse version of his special quality where she gets stronger if dudes are around, but like she's also from a border region which is constantly attacked by foreigners. That's also where Sylvain's from. That's why House Gautier are assholes.
Mm-hmm.
It's because they have to constantly defend the border with their relic weapon.
From Almea.
It's a different region they're bordered with, but it might be Elmira. That's where Hilda is from Fodlan's throat. So she's constantly repelling invasions from Elmira.
Yeah.
Or her family is. So, hey, guess what? She knows how to fight. She doesn't like to do it, though. She's that character. That bugs me is I don't know.
I don't, is she just lazy because... Like, see, here's the thing. Linhardt's lazy, but he's a fucking, genius.
Linhardt is that character archetype where he's like, listen, I sleep all the time because my brain is working on maximum overdrive.
Like, I stay up all night. Like, I stay up all night reading books.
Yeah, he's the character who works as long as he wants to work, and then he sleeps as long as he needs to. Also, I'm pretty sure he likes sugary things. Like, he's one of the characters who likes a tasty big treat, so... That's that's a key sign, I think, of brain people, because it's subtle, but in case you guys don't know this, your brain cells only process sugars for energy. That's why you will get super agitated if you get a sugar high.
Yeah.
So, he much like Lythisia, is like, I'm powered by sugars. Which makes sense, because the magic skill is called Reason, so...
Yeah.
But still, it's like... That's his thing, right?
Yeah.
Who else is... I don't think anybody else is really lazy. Like, Bernadette doesn't want to leave her room, but that's because of her horrible crippling phobias. Like, when she's alone by herself, she does her work okay. It's just like, I don't want to leave my room.
I'm trying to go through the list in my head right now.
Cyril is the reverse lazy. He works way too hard.
And hates it when other people help him with his work.
Well, that's because his, once again, Persona-style deep central character conflicts. His thing is he's a war orphan who was adopted by the church, and he, Rhea gave him room and board for free, basically, so he's like, this is literally the only thing I can do to pay her back, is the work.
Well, it's also because the fact that he feels that if someone's taking his job, they're also taking his place, and, he could be immediately replaced any fucking time.
Mm-hmm. Also, learned, oddly enough, from his support with Lythisia, where he also has an A+.
Doesn't know how to fucking read.
No, doesn't know how to read. And Lythisia's like, oh, cool, I'll help you. And he's just like, did she just want to feel like a big sister again? And I'm like, yes, it's adorable. You're both small. I should put you together.
Real talk, I do enjoy the fact, because I didn't actually realize this when I was actually playing. Lythisia actually does get taller in the 5-year gap.
Yeah, but she's still the shortest.
She's still the shortest.
That said, I think she's she's one of the few people who doesn't become taller than you. If you're female by anyway. Whereas I'm like, traitors. How dare.
How dare! I will still suplex you.
I also think Annette doesn't get taller, but I also don't know why Annette is so, because I don't think Annette's younger. Like, she's the normal age curve. She's just small, I guess, which is weird. Her mother must be tiny, because her dad's, a solid slab of man. He is a big boy who has terrible issues that I'm not quite to the bottom of. Was it her and Caspar or her and Lint out? There was one where two people got stuck in a tower. Oh no, it was Ash, that's right. It was her and Ash. They get stuck in a tower, and it's a B and B plus, and I haven't gotten to the next level, but it's obviously going to be Ash is going to go back in the locked tower and recover her doll, even though it's dark and he's scared.
Ash is a good soft boy.
Yes, that's because Ash is great. I think we both said that about Blue Lions, where like, okay, Dimitri's kind of shifty, but the moment you start the house, you're like, these are my new children. Hello, they are the best. And it's funny. I feel like Golden Deer definitely has multiple problem children in it.
Hilda, Lorenz, Leonie. Let's see here. Marianne's
based. Yeah, she's a problem child in that she's like Super Bernadetta.
Yeah.
Which, like, don't talk to me. I don't know how to talk to people, and also I fear people because I'm unlucky and stuff.
Ignatz just has crippling self-esteem issues, I guess.
Yeah, Ignatz is just a big nerd. The dude just wants to paint, but he's in the Office Academy, so unfortunately, he has to stab people.
Actually, I think that like the most wholesome person in Golden Deer is fucking Raphael.
Yes, Raphael is great, which is good, because his parents are dead. And he's like, I'm okay, though. I'm happy. I'm huge. I have a little sister. I'm the bestest. I'm the biggest bro.
Yeah. He is capital, biggest bro.
Leticia is not a problem child. She is just adorable and angry. And she will
I can understand. I can't understand why Claude intentionally teases her. I'm like,
well, yeah, Leticia is way too high strung, that's her thing. Is like she's pretty sure she's gonna die, so she's doing everything like a mile a minute.
Let's see that. Leticia, Leonie. I feel like I'm missing somebody.
Okay, hold on. Claude's the house captain. There's Lorenz. There's Leticia. There's Hilda. There's Raphael. There's Ignatz. There's Leonie. That might be everybody.
Yeah, because there's 8 and everybody and everything, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, it's like I don't know. I feel like some of their problems are just more overt.
Well, also it's interesting because we didn't talk about Marianne, but I think we got everybody. So it's Claude, Hilda, Leonie, Raphael, Ignatz, Lorenz, Leticia, Marianne.
Yeah, okay.
So that's everybody. The thing I think about Golden Deer is the way the Leicester Alliance is.
Oh, that's true, because it's a coalition. It's a
right.
Fucking,
yeah, they are a alliance of noble houses who split from the kingdom. So, while Claude is of the house that is, they are the head of the table. They are still a quote unquote round table.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hilda is manipulative and lazy. Leonie's just, at least with you, she's way too high strung.
Yeah.
Ref's good though. Ignatz is just sensitive. Like, he just wants to paint, okay? Lorenz is, as we've said before, he is the triangle point between Ferdinand and Sylvain.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, you want to talk about character development? Ferdinand in Azure Moon, if you recruit him, where he's basically just like, so my Edelgard didn't like my dad, and she stripped us of all our titles, but that's okay because I'm still noble at heart, and we're gonna get those back one day, Professor. And I'm like, good lad.
Well, well, he kind of did the same thing in Crimson Moon, where he's like, even if there are nobility, there still need people to lead and whatnot, and we need to, because what Edelgard wants to put in is a meritocracy.
Right. And he's still like, and basically he's like, well then I'll still be awesome because I was still awesome the whole time, and there will still be people who are rad. And he's like, yeah, okay.
So, like, while Ferdinand is very much all about being a noble, he feels like he doesn't necessarily have to have the title to be who he is.
Well, yes, because one of his dislikes is nobles who are not noble. Like, noble capital N, and then lowercase n. So it's like, no, that's fair. Like, he truly believes that the nobility have the divine right to rule and all that, but he believes it in the realist sense, which is like, yo, you gotta act like it. That's why his
like,
relationship with Hilda is really interesting, because she's just trying to Shanghai him into doing her work, or quote unquote teaching her how to make tea, aka making her tea, and then she runs off, and he's like, "Son of a bitch, I'm gonna get that girl."
This reminds me. I need to work on something.
I don't think Hilda has a lot of good A or A pluses. I'm like trying to figure out who I should pair her off with, and I'm like, you don't really have
crazy? I think she has an A plus with Setith of all people.
Yes, which is weird for reasons. Though they both like axes, I guess. I don't know.
But I did laugh at their C, where Seth is literally passive aggressive for her, and she's like, and Hilda's like, oh god.
Yeah, because Setith has been around a while. He is a nerd to her bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that was Golden Deer. Let me double check. So let's see who's in Blue Lions, because they really are such lovely, adorable children.
Well, like, here's the thing, like when you get the descriptions, you definitely they always have that little tagline, like the Adjusting Empire has like a bunch of like magic users. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head.
The Holy Kingdom of Fargus.
Holy Kingdom of Fargus. That's all. Like they have like a bunch of people who follow like honor and chivalry, and then the Lancaster.
Well, yeah, because that's the interesting thing, which is the Holy Kingdom was formed out of basically like a religious schism.
Yeah. Well, that's how when they broke off from the Adrestian, they had the church back them, and to do that, they had to basically accept the Church of Saros as their official fucking religion.
Well, the Empire is like, we used to have our own church, I guess, but we don't anymore.
Whatever.
But yeah, so there's like, there's Dimitri's got his own thing, but like, Dedue is a very good boy. Inette is good, but her thing is she works really hard, and like a lot of her supports are her unpacking, working so fucking hard.
Yeah.
Ash is just great. There's Mercedes, who's an interesting, nice girl.
For a girl who has such a tragic backstory,
and heck, she's not even. We can't even hardly call her a girl. She's a young woman. She's like 23 when the game starts.
Yeah. Like literally in her description, and like in her history, because it says after a bunch of shit, like this isn't word for word. After a bunch of shit happens, ends up at the academy. I'm all like, Mercedes, what is all this stuff that happened? Interesting shit that happened to you?
Okay, so, my dad died, and then my mom had to marry another guy, but he was an asshole who kicked us out as soon as she had my younger brother, who might also be the Death Knight, just so you know, and then we had to live on our own, and then I was adopted by a merchant. But also, he wants me to marry guys, but I like you, Professor. Boom. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, and then she ended up at she ended up at a church for a long time.
Yes, that's her default, is she wants to go into the church. Which, hey, guess what? That's why she dresses like a nun in part 2.
Yeah. And then, there's a bunch of stuff happened, and I ended up here, and you're just like, why are you so chipper and happy? You're such a good girl.
Because of the power of the goddess. I'm like, yeah, I'm right here. I still wish the game would play that up more, because, like, you have this whole revelation with Sothis, like, halfway through what is part 1 called?
It's white. I can't remember.
Part 1, White Clouds. Got it. Yeah, I just had to think in Gerald's voice. So in the White Clouds part, like, you have this whole big revelation, like, halfway through, where Sothis is like, holy shit, the goddess name is Sothis? My name is Sothis. Oh shit, I'm the goddess. And you're like, I guess you are. What the fuck does that make us? And then once Sothis' soul becomes your soul or something, like, obviously Rhea's trying to build up to, like, hey, you're Jesus. You're the second coming of our Lord and Savior, Sothis Christ. But you don't. Maybe it's just because Byleth is too. I don't know if humble's the right word, but too reserved. But like you think, especially after Rhea basically hands you leadership of the church, at least in Azure Moon, that like you could be like, hey, hold on a second, I'm a major religious figure. Let me just lay some shit out on you. Also, by the way, we are at 2 hours and 55 minutes.
We might have to cut this Three Houses talk short.
We might. Well, we're still playing Three Houses, so we still have way more to talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're coming up on the limit for our recording for What's Up, which is fair also, just because we don't want to be here forever.
mean,
But
we'll
hey,
probably
kids,
cut
we
some-
like Three Houses, and there's still more to learn. This is what I love about Three Houses. There's so much shit, and there's going to be more shit.
This is like conspiracy board level shit, alright?
Well, yeah, the writers at Nintendo's Intelligent Systems did a tip-top job writing this game. We've talked about that. It's like there's some nitpicks, and some of those are just how Fire Emblem is, but some of them are just because they're spread out over all these routes. But it's a really well-crafted game.
Yeah.
So really quick, first up, Lucky, did you watch the Tanya movie?
I have not.
Okay.
I've been behind on fucking
All right, that's fine. Then we won't talk about it yet. That's good. We can skip that. So I guess I don't want to spark a whole conversation, but I will just mention a couple of things that I did do this week really quick. So number one, I binged an entire webcomic called Go Get a Roomie, which I recommend if you... It's kind of a romantic comedy type thing. Like, it's got deep-seated relationship drama, but also there's, funny stuff and character interactions. I liked it a lot. It's about 9 years old, and recently the author has announced that it will be concluding in year 10 sometime. Not that the characters aren't going to, go away, but, they'll wrap up the major story arcs and kind of switch formats and stuff, which is always nice, I know some of these webcomics go on forever, but... so I recommend that. I will warn everybody, though, it is technically not safe for work. The titular character, Rumi, does have an aversion for clothes, and while they're not detailed, she is often without a shirt, especially in earlier strips. So, browse at your own discretion. But that got me in a comic reading mood, so yesterday, while Lucky was away, I read and then watched all of Scott Pilgrim again. Just 'cause.
That's what I need to do. I need to finish Scott Pilgrim. I think haven't read the last 2 volumes, I think.
Those are the big deal ones. But yeah, so hey, even in the year of our Lord 2019, Scott Pilgrim, still good. Both of them.
Yeah.
I laughed out loud multiple times at the movie, where just the cinematography or the comedic timing was just so perfect.
I've seen the movie.
The movie's pretty good, but it has first of all, it's super compressed, but also it has different ending themes and stuff. And also maybe it leans much harder on Scott Knives, because that was the original ending before they reshot it. I know, Lucky, you've talked about how we should play the game sometime, and I hope we can. I think it's been delisted, though.
Yeah, that's what I've been noticing. I was looking for it, and you just can't find it.
That said, the original author has said he wants to do a remaster, so let's hope he gets on that sometime.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be, because I think the comic finished in 2012, I want to say, so it'll be 10 years since it finished soon. Maybe we can get a 10-year re-release.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if it went both ways, Axe. The original writer, whose name escapes me immediately, I think his last name's O'Malley, he was heavily involved in the writing of both the movie and the video game version, so while the last 2 volumes weren't out, he obviously had an opportunity to, let them know about some stuff, but some stuff was just compressed anyway.
The video game is just a fucking side-scroller beat-em-up.
Yeah, it's the video game version of Scott Pilgrim, which is what you'd expect, because the game already ran on basically River City Ransom rules.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you can get all the core characters, obviously, Scott's playable, Ramon is playable, Knives was DLC, I think
you can also get the rest of the Sex Bombs, too.
Okay, so you can play all of them, alright, cool. And they all have their own stories and endings and stuff. But the comic is still really good, and very sharp, and I don't know, I just like those kinds of, I like a good romantic self-introspection story, I don't need it to be super, gritty, bloody, soap opera-y drama. Just a little bit of drama, okay? So long as it gets resolved in the end. But yeah, it's a solid title, and you should read it sometime. I really need to pick up the colored re-releases that came out later at some point, but I haven't looked into that. But I say it's still good, both of them. And Lucky, if you ever get around to reading all of them, we can maybe have a big talk about it, because I don't know why, but I really, really like Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, I do
maybe
too.
Now that I'm older, it resonates with me as a theoretically unemployed creative type going about his own way in life. Now, if only some random chick would show up in my dreams.
Oh my.
I don't know, though. For some reason, maybe Scott's a lot thinner and fitter than I am. Maybe that's just video game rules, but he seems pretty slim nerd, whereas I could, stand to hit the gym a little.
Omega. Mission clock.
We'll compress some of that time down. But yeah, we're at about 3 hours, so we need to wrap up. That was just my last minute mention. Scott Pilgrim.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, hey, we'll just get on out of your hair. If you're watching this on YouTube, give us a like. If you have any comments about any of the things we've talked about, leave them down below. Who is your bestest Three Houses child? You can also join our Discord that links in the description. Hey, guess what? We talk a lot about Three Houses here, and also other stuff. The Discord is also going crazy about Monster Hunter World right now, for reasons. And if you are new here and haven't already, please subscribe to our channel to keep getting all our episodes that come out every week. And even if you're already subscribed, considering that bell for notifications, so you always know when we post a new video, because this is a 3-hour monster and it will take me a while to render. And like it says at the front of the show, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early and lots of other goodies, and it really helps us out. You can get this episode in audio format for as little as $1 a month, and that comes out a lot sooner than video versions do to the public. Like, you'll get the audio version even before the special early release of the video version. So, we'll see you next week for more Let's Talk FGO, where I get to talk about how it's suddenly Ishtar Fest. And,
what?
Oh yeah, you were out of it yesterday, but there was a stream and stuff.
Oh.
Spoiler, the Ishtar is now the headliner of the event.
Oh.
And I hope we get a costume later. But we'll talk about all that on Let's Talk FGO. And, also next week we'll talk about, there'll be another What's Up where we will talk about more Three Houses. And maybe Tanya, if Lucky watched it. And also, if you haven't seen it yet, we also released a episode of Let's Talk FGO earlier already. That one came out, where we can talk about other stuff. All right, so we're gonna go, everybody, and I'm gonna edit this. Bye.
Bye.